Got
All
it.
right. And away we go.
Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cool villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a demon DJ on the ones and twos, by the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds, and welcome to another star-studded episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 429, recorded Sunday, June 25th, 2023. Tonight, we're talking about the winner of the June poll, which is Mars Attacks from 1996. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show tonight. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy Randeezy. What's up, man?
We come in peace.
How's it going, buddy? I'm coming in peace. How about you? How you coming?
I'm never in peace. It's usually pretty loud.
Hell yeah. Good for you, man.
Hell
I'm proud
yeah.
of you.
Up
I'm
top.
proud of you.
Up
You know,
top.
you gotta support your guy's cock, you know?
Sure. Why not? Speaking of supporting your guy's cock, next up, calling in from South Korea, we got your boy Soju. What's up, man?
What up? It's your boy, Mac Stains.
Ooh, that's a nice brevity on that one. I like it.
It's either a Mars Attacks reference or a Ying Yang Twin song, so I'll let you decide.
Ah!
Mac? Is that like a McDonald's? A double stack?
A double stack
What?
Mac?
Double stack
Man, we
Mac?
just
Double stack
connect
Mac,
dumb
Mac.
dots on this show. If there's a dot, we'll connect it. Since be damned.
I think
I
it's
can't leave
more
my
of
boy
an-
hanging. I gotta.
You got to support his cock. I know.
Your boy
I know what it's
Ronald
about.
McDonald. You got to support that clown's cock. Is what you got to do.
Damn.
We're going places tonight, boys.
It blows confetti.
It's got one of those never-ending scarves coming out of the tip.
Speaking of hilarious ejaculations, last but not least, making his triumphant return to Straight Chilling, everybody welcome back our boy Mikey. What's up, man?
Hello.
Hi.
This is so
What are your
weird.
feelings on hilarious ejaculations caught on tape?
I think they're all funny.
All right. Good man.
Yeah. I mean, there's no better feeling than pissing, shitting, and coming, right?
I get all at the same
Indeed.
time. All at the same
That's
time.
what coming in peace is all about. I approve.
Yeah.
We're all happy campers.
Sure.
No, this is fun. I was on the way over here and I thought I forgot a bag of movies because usually when I podcast over here we have a bag of movies, but not this time. I felt naked coming over here without a whole
It's
stack.
a crate.
No luggage this time.
Nope. Just gotta talk about one movie. This is fun.
Yeah. It's a little easier, I think, than covering 40 movies.
I
in
was
an
just
hour.
thinking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got time to watch all the movies.
Yeah, dude. Who you telling? We just
Yeah.
make it up. We don't watch shit.
Nope.
If
Boys.
you
We got the whole Straight Chilling crew together.
We
This is
do.
the squad.
Yeah.
This is the team.
The expanded
team.
family is in house.
Hallelujah.
Right.
If you guys are unaware, Mikey and I have a side podcast, a side hustle called Let's Get Physical Media. We talk about Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs and VHS, and as of late, some other fun shit too. So check it out everywhere you get your podcasts.
Yeah, it's the sister show. Oh my god.
I cut that
Yes,
one off.
it's the
Thank you.
sister show under the Straight Chilling umbrella.
Let's
Yeah.
Get Physical Media.
Yeah, check it out.
Property. I thought it was
Check
property.
it out. It's
We've got
it's
enough.
whatever you want it to be.
God,
Yeah,
this is going to be a meandering motherfucking episode. Okay.
probably. Let's
We'll
let's
get
tackle
there.
some housekeeping. We got a lot. Let's do it. We're dropping minicast left and right. We got minicast number 101 out there for your ear holes right now. Your boy Soju was talking about the Pope's Exorcist most recently, which is a 5-star film, I think.
The Pope. The
The
actual
Pope,
Pope.
Sexorcist. The Pope
Yes.
Sexorcist.
Exorcist.
Yeah, this was a weird kind of film to come out. I'm curious if like we see maybe more of these types of films where it's kind of like a horror hybrid. It's wrapped in a horror kind of dressing, but inside it's more of like a kind of action drama, which was curious. So yeah, this was your boy Russell Crowe, and it was an interesting film. I'm a little worried. I hope Hollywood doesn't just like jump on the horror is profitable train and start filling these kind of movies. But as a one-off, it was kind of interesting.
Actually, based on the recent box office returns,
Yeah.
that's not a bad guess.
I know.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Let's just
Horror
jump on the horror
dressing.
train.
But then again,
Yeah.
Renfield kind of didn't do much, so maybe
Yeah.
that'll be their
Yeah.
canary in the coal
Because it
mine
was so
instead.
mediocre.
Dude, it's better than the fucking Pope's Exorcist, in my opinion, anyway.
It is probably better than most of those big budget movies that bombed
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got other mini casts coming out later. I don't know what they're going to be yet, but every other week we got a brand new mini cast over on Patreon for you. So get excited about that.
Have you recorded a new one yet, Bob?
No,
Well, then the
No,
next
I
one's going to be Bo is Afraid.
maybe,
Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
Probably. We'll find out.
That was going
we,
in the vault.
Yeah,
gotta-
you're never going to hear my thoughts.
We got a poll up on Patreon as well. We got a lot going on over at patreon.com/straight chilling whatever podcast.com. Check that out. Oh yeah, we got our July poll. Our July. I don't know what the
I'm
URL
not
is.
able to say the correct URL, but okay.
Patreon Straight Chilling Podcast. Search it; it'll pop up. Yeah, we got our July poll currently posted. This is Randy's takeover month. Randy, what's going on with our July poll?
Well, we got ourselves some animated horror features or horror adjacent features, if you want to be pedantic about it, that are
I
in
do.
the mix this time around. I heard, and I guess we'll hear the numbers shortly. We had one kind of steamrolling the others, and the options being Paprika, the anime film, The House, the Netflix stop motion film, and Watership Down, the classic 2D cell animation. So not cell animation, 2D animation. Bob, Justin, ask Bob how those numbers are looking.
Bob, how those numbers looking?
Can I respond, Randy? Is it okay?
Bob, you go ahead and respond now.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Paprika's still in first place handily, and The House and Watership Down apparently suck. Nobody wants to watch those.
All right.
All right,
And it's
well,
the last week. Next week, we'll have a new poll.
Yeah.
we're gonna need a real
and,
resurgence for one of those to take anything back. It sounds like.
Next month, I'm excited about next month's poll. I'll just tease it.
Hold
It'll
on
be,
to it,
It'll be
Bob.
fun and exciting and tantalizing.
Doubt
You're
it.
gonna love it. You're gonna vote. You're gonna vote your asses off, baby. Let me tell you.
Dang it.
Man,
No
That's
one's
America.
going to vote.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
We just lost all our Patreons.
I'm gonna vote that dick clean off.
There's one thing the American people do not approve of. It's voting.
It's voting. We got a lot of new Patreon love this week. So not one but two brand new subscribers, and then we got a lot of UPick congratulations to go around. But first off, big thanks to Dana A and Clayton B for signing up on Patreon and showing us some love. Every dollar you guys contribute goes right back into the show. It really helps keep the show running. And as is tradition around these parts, we owe you both the straight chilling salute. These go out to Dana and Clayton.
Slap my ass.
Uh,
Slap me in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Slap me right in the ass.
Dana,
That never
Clayton,
gets
God
old.
bless you. God
bless.
bless.
Thank you for the support and the red cherry asshole.
The asshole.
The red ass and the green bills.
The red eye.
Seeing red and green, baby. It's
Let's
Christmas. Straight
Seeing
chilling.
green.
Money.
Speaking of, that could be a segue.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
move on. Yeah. Right. What are you new? What is this?
I don't know. It's just we don't need to get into where my mind was going.
No.
Okay.
Thank you guys for the love. We did open up the You Pick the Flick tier today. This is for the third quarter of the year, and big congratulations to everybody that grabbed a slot, which were Hydraberg, Carmen, your boy Dongster Sam, Brandon, aka Sasquatch, and of course Lomang.
All right.
Yeah, thank you all.
Congratulations.
Oh yeah.
Some of the picks
Congratulations.
have already been coming in, and I'm excited.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just send us your picks as soon as you decide on what you want us to talk about. We'll get you on the schedule. And yeah, thanks again, guys, for showing us love. The your picks went in a matter of seconds this go round. It was potentially the quickest they've ever gone. Like
No, not again.
I opened the tier and then I think I hit refresh like a couple seconds later and they were just gone. God damn.
Hell yeah.
It was really fast. Yeah, so I think that's all we got for Patreon. Juice, I think you got some stuff.
Oh my lord. Yeah, so first of all, or an early drop for this one, but the newest Creature Comforts is now up on YouTube. I was talking about The Wizard of Oz with Jacqueline from A Cut Above. So definitely check that out. Also coming out tomorrow is going to be Bob's new Tiki video just in time for the 4th of July and your yearly watch of Jaws. Bob, tell us all about your new Tiki video called Quint.
Gave me a boner.
Quint
Sharknado.
Quinch.
Quint
You guys
gave me
missed
a
the
boner.
Okay.
I'm excited about this one. Yeah, a new Tiki video going up on YouTube. I wanted to make a tiki cocktail that was inspired by the character of Quint from Jaws, the classic film that it's like the 4th of July movie. And so this drink is sort of inspired by a couple beverages that he is slamming throughout the course of Jaws. And I also wanted to make it kind of a light sort of summer poolside sipper. So if you guys want to make a couple of these, you can enjoy them on the 4th of July while you're slamming hot dogs by the pool. And if you do make them at home, let me know what you think. Yeah, I dig this one. So check it out.
Is there any Narragansett?
There's Narragansett in it, yeah.
That is
Hell
a great
yeah.
beer. I do like that beer.
Yeah.
That's the greatest like cheap out beer of all time, I gotta say. It's the greatest like budget beer, I guess is the nicer way to say
Cheap
that.
out
Cheap
beer.
out.
If you're a cheap little bitch, you love Narragansett.
If you're
That's
fucking
me.
poor.
Wow.
Somebody was telling me that there's a shortage of Narragansett. It's apparently somewhat
Holy-
difficult to come by. So Godspeed if you're out there trying to find some.
Damn.
Quinch. Check it out on YouTube.
Check it out.
Juice, you got anything else?
Did I do any features last week? I don't think so. So I guess starting tomorrow, our feed is going to be just chock full blown the fuck out of ByFan coverage. So
Right.
keep an eye out for everything that's popping up for that. But other than that, I think
What?
my house is clean.
What is ByFan for those that
Oh.
might not be aware?
Thank you, Bob. This
Yeah.
is the Busan International Film Festival. It is a film festival out here in Incheon, Seoul, which is it's a big international film festival. There's going to be movies from all over the place. A lot of Australian, Japanese, American films, Korean films. It's 10 days long, so we got a lot of coverage to go. I'm going to be doing some interviews. Already got those lined up. They're going to be doing some actor highlights and opening and closing ceremonies. So, lots of stuff going on.
Sweet. Yeah, the Chattanooga Film Festival started this past weekend, and we've got a pile of screeners to get through for that as well. You probably won't see any coverage this week of Chattanooga Film Festival, but that will be coming very soon.
Hell yeah. We got a lot
Keep
to
your eyes
cover.
peeled. Yeah.
God damn.
Randy, you got anything?
The only things I'll bring up are something I mentioned before, which is the A Cut Above episode that I featured on that dropped last week, right? A little over a week ago, actually. That was the Gemini Home Entertainment YouTube series coverage.
Oh yeah, you weren't here to plug it last week.
I plugged it in advance the week before, but I didn't even think I'd be here for this one. So I'm glad I got a chance to plug it. It's a lot of fun talking about that thing. I recommend that. I also have an upcoming recording with our good friend Nicole over at Light and Shadow Podcast.
I'm not familiar.
You're not familiar. You've never heard of her. So this is for aficionados only.
Okay.
Cut a or, no, not cut above the Light and Shadow podcast. I will be recording with her soon. I don't know if I'm supposed to drop what that's going to be on or not, so I'll just say keep an ear to the ground with the Light and Shadow podcast. I'm going to be on there soon.
I'm super excited to hear you on her show. She sort of like started really getting into religion and horror, and she's got a lot of guests lined up, a lot of great movies that she plans to talk about. So definitely keep your eyes on Light Shadow Podcast. You already get podcasts. Nicole's got a lot of cool shit coming your way, so check it out. Last thing I got, Joe Bob Watch Party last Friday was great. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to be doing it again this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Joe Bob Watch Party. I'll throw a Zoom link out there just before showtime if you want to join in on the fun.
Nice.
There you go.
How's this house looking, Bob?
I think it's clean.
Ooh.
This house is clean.
We be
All right.
keeping filthy houses these days.
Dude,
boys.
I know.
Man, I'm ready to talk nerd. Damn.
We have business to cover. All right, yeah, let's get to the main event and talk about some bullshit. We're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Bomb, how many of these boxes do you have?
Couple.
A couple. A couple
Is that right?
does.
Is that right? Baker's does.
Nope, that's not all right. How many miles of dicks is that, Bob?
The police have been notified.
That's a lot of dicks. We're finally talking about dick.
We know
Hell
you
yeah.
are, Bob.
Hell yeah. We're talking about Mars Attacks. I want to say this was on 2, maybe even 3 of our polls. It's finally one. Yeah, I'm happy we're getting to it now. This is from 1996, rated PG-13, mind you, with a
Another
runtime
one.
of an hour and 46 minutes. This was directed by your boy Tim Burton. It was written by Lynn Brown, Woody Gelman, and Wally Wood. It stars fucking everybody: Jack Nicholson, Pierce Brosnan, Sarah Jessica Parker, Annette Bening, Glenn Close, Danny DeVito, Michael J. Fox, Martin Short, Tom Jones, Natalie Portman, Jack Black, Pam Grier, some other folks. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. Earth is invaded by Martians with unbeatable weapons and a cruel sense of humor. All
That's
right.
short and sweet. Damn.
Yeah, short and sweet. Just like these little Martians.
Oh no.
Gentlemen, grow up, bro. Have you seen this movie before, and would you recommend people check it out? Mikey, why don't you kick us off?
You know, I think I only watched this movie when it first came out.
Really? In the theater?
No,
Man.
So this movie the nostalgia of this movie brings me is, you guys remember the Scramblers back in the day? When people had like the illegal pay-per-view
Oh, okay.
movie
Oh,
channels
yeah.
at home.
Cable guy,
This-
baby.
Yeah, so this is what it reminds me of, because I remember the same year this came out, I was always flipping back and forth from this movie and Dusk Till Dawn. And Dusk Till Dawn was like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of overtook it. But I remember watching this movie and I remember enjoying it. And when I was watching it actually this morning, I didn't remember shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I do recommend watching this movie. It was a lot of fun. You
Okay.
definitely get the Tim Burton feel. You get a lot of cameos. I call them cameos because there's a lot of actors in this movie, but a lot of them didn't have a lot of
Yeah.
screen time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ensemble, but like overblown ensemble.
Yeah, I feel like you get more Jim Brown than anything. That's Byron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a decent role in this thing.
Yeah.
Ray Deasy, what about you?
Oh yes. This is a film that I watched quite a bit. I think the first time I saw it was not in theaters, actually. I think our good friend that we grew up with, Chris, showed me this film at one of our mini hangouts. And yeah, this was around this Men in Black came out like the year after this. I think we saw that, and then he's like, you got to watch this too. And yes, those two movies are inseparable in my mind, not just because the soundtrack is, I don't know if it's exactly the same song that opens both movies by Danny Elfman, but it might as well fucking be.
Yeah.
They're like the exact same fucking song. But that sort of like upbeat, like theremin filled Elfman quirky music for a space, alien comedy. Yeah, this was all in my wheelhouse growing up. So I very much have seen this movie and I recommend it. I love it. I think it's great. I have a lot of maybe a little bit of rose tinted glasses. I'll be honest, but I do really really like it.
All right, Juice, what about you?
Yeah, this was one, that I remember being on cable television or just television in general a lot, back in the day. And so I've seen it. I don't know how many times I've seen it, but I did in a way kind of grow up with it. And yeah, I would recommend it. I think this is still when Burton is at his kind of like creative heights. It's before Planet of the Apes, which apparently just ruined his brain. Because
Working with Wahlbergs will do that.
Yeah, it was all downhill from there. But it was interesting watching this film because recently we covered Starship Troopers and even in that, we kind of mentioned Men in Black and stuff. And it's interesting because I was realizing the 90s are filled with these kind of like pulpy, retro, fun plays off, sci-fi and aliens and stuff like that. And looking back, I guess it was, like 30, 35 years in the past, like retro stuff. I was like, hey, this is like our big 80s explosion now, like, oh yeah, remember that retro shit back in the day. So it's kind of cool to look at it through that lens of like time of why it's so quirky and kind of played for fun and stuff like that. And it was fun to kind of like look at it through that lens this time around. So yeah, I would check out, I would recommend people check this out for sure. Bob, how about you?
Yeah, I've seen this several times before. I think I saw this in theaters. I'm not totally sure. I remember watching it a lot as a kid, and I had the goofy little like plastic flying saucer toy thing from it. So I've definitely got some nostalgia. I might share that rose-colored glasses that Randy's wearing. But I love this movie. It's one of my favorite Tim Burton movies. I highly recommend people watch it. I mean, it's not a straight-ahead horror movie. There's a lot of gore, but there's plenty of comedy. And if you're into like science fiction, fucking anything, just watch it. Just watch the movie.
I would even hesitate to say it's got a lot of gore. I think it implies some gore, maybe.
Yeah,
I think there's a lot of gore.
It depends on how generous you're being, I think.
Sure, yeah.
Bob's a generous man.
It's not going to turn your stomach. I mean, it's PG-13 after all. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a across the board recommendation from the Straight Chilling crew. Let's get in the main event. We're going to spoil the shit out of this movie, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
I keep having like little mini panic attacks because we weren't expecting Randy on this episode. So I keep thinking like, oh shit, I got to play the bump.
Oh no, it's fine. He's here.
Oh,
heavy lies the crowd.
I don't have to do shit. Thank God. Bob, you got that plot synopsis?
Yes, I do.
Hit me with it.
Here we go. When Earth is visited by a massive fleet of flying saucers from Mars, President James Dale addresses the people of the United States. Meanwhile, talk show host Natalie Lake and her boyfriend, news reporter Jason Stone, interviewed President Dale's scientific advisor, Professor Donald Kessler, on TV, but the broadcast is interrupted by the Martian leader. As the Martians land in Nevada, we see several people around the country reacting, including a donut shop employee, a casino owner, and an ex-boxer, among several others. General Casey welcomes the Martians to Earth and is greeted with a message that, when translated, says, "We come in peace." A hippie releases a dove into the air, and the Martians shoot it down with a ray gun. They then start blasting all military personnel and civilian onlookers alike. Professor Kessler convinces the president the attack was simply a misunderstanding. The president agrees to let the Martian leader speak to Congress and apologize, but instead they pull out their ray guns and start blasting yet again. The Martians also take Kessler and Natalie up into one of their spaceships and do weird experiments on them. President Dale narrowly survives an assassination attempt by a Martian disguised as a sexy blonde woman. After this, the Martians launch a full-scale attack on the entire planet. We focus on several characters living in Las Vegas as they attempt to flee and fight for their lives. Richie, the donut shop employee, goes to get his grandma from her assisted living facility. In the process, he finds out her old-timey music can make the Martian heads explode. Specifically, Slim Whitman's timeless banger, Indian Love Call. The Martians infiltrate the president's top secret bunker and kill him, as well as his entire cabinet. Back in Las Vegas, Byron, the retired boxer, fights off dozens of Martians, so a plane with his ex-wife and kids on it, piloted by Tom Jones, can take off. All around the world, we see Martians being defeated by Slim Whitman's incomparable yodeling skills. After the war is over, the president's daughter presents Richie and his grandma with a Medal of Honor. We also see Byron and his family and Tom Jones are all okay. Rolled in credits.
Singing happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not unusual, boys.
Singing away. Something that I did not ever realize about this movie is that it was based on trading cards by the same name. Did you guys know that? That was news to me.
No.
It took it took several years before I knew that. Yeah, like as a kid, I definitely didn't know. I probably was in college when I learned that. But yeah, it was like what is it, 60s Topps trading card sort of thing.
Yeah, it's 1962, I think, is when they came out, and they were called Mars Attacks, and I think there was like 60 or 80 cards released, and on the backs, it actually had like it told a story, like a full blown story if you got all the cards and read them out, and eventually they got banned because of the gory imagery on the cards themselves. But the aliens on the cards look identical to the aliens in this movie. Like there's
there's some faithfulness
happening.
Better,
but yeah.
Well, yeah. All right. They pull a lot.
It depends on what you're going
from
for.
The cards. Yeah.
Yeah. These look cool as shit, though.
Yeah. You can get them on eBay
the cards or the movie?
They're really expensive.
They're not. They're like $1 or $2 a card on eBay. You can
and there's like 80 cards,
something like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Mikey, get on it.
No, I don't want
Get on
that.
it and let me look at them.
I feel like you can find those at Cracker Barrel or something. Cracker little gift shop.
I see.
Maybe.
I don't know if it's not really their aesthetic, but maybe.
Just old timey stuff. That's what it reminds me of.
I like it. Yeah, it looks cool as shit.
Yeah. I don't know what that bum said.
Me either.
Yeah. So recently, I like this kind of like went blank in my mind, but I was talking with Caitlin about kind of rotations of monsters in kind of film, and we are talking like, oh yeah, you get a lot of vampire films at one time, or you get a lot of
zeitgeisty
zombie films at one time or whatever, properties, but it completely like blanked out. They're like, oh yeah, we haven't like been in for a sci-fi run in a while. The 90s hit it hard.
What was it, Men in Black, this
dude, so much. I was looking it up earlier.
Godzilla,
Contact.
Contact, let me see, I just had it up. Galaxy Quest, Starship Troopers, Fifth Element.
A lot of it's very like 60s pull too, because they're pulling from like Star Trek and like these Topps trading cards and things. It's like Flying Saucer. This is the one that's like most obviously like pulling from that sort of like pulpy comic booky sort of feel, I think.
1950s science fiction movies,
sort of like that what is that, like Attack All Martians or something like that. There was a game that kind of did
Kill All Humans or something like that.
Destroy All Humans.
Destroy All Humans.
They had a re-release of that. But yeah, like we haven't seen much of that. I guess like if you want to get down to it, well, I don't know how spoilery we want to be about this movie, but there was a recent film a couple years ago that had some alien action in it. We had Arrival not that long ago, but they're not this style of alien film. They're taking themselves seriously, and whether or not that's successful is up to
like idiots.
Well, that's what like caught my eye this time again. Kind of the flying saucers, the pulpy nature. I didn't realize about the cards or whatever. But yeah, just having that kind of like retro flair of it all was a lot of fun. I was like, oh yeah, like just I don't know. It's kind of, maybe I'm jonesing for another kind of sci-fi comeback like this, because even the X-Files was so big and like what's out there and stuff.
Tom Joneson?
Yeah, Tom Joneson.
Wow. I didn't miss that opportunity.
I know, I had to jump on
I had
it.
to do it.
Hold on, we need a fresh, clean take of that. Bob, go for it.
Are you Tom Joneson?
No.
Oh, shit!
Yeah, I mean, even like Lost in Space and stuff like that, like clearly it was just it's a lot like done in fun, like we said, Men in Black, Starship Troopers. It's all kind of campy, play it over the top and stuff, and I kind of missed that tone a little bit, honestly.
anal
I
probe
love-
jokes, that sort of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you guys are.
I'm
Oh
desperate.
my God. No, I'm so glad you guys are saying that because I remember last year when Nope came out, and I feel like that kind
That's
of
what I was
gave
gonna
the resurgence of like alien shit. And ever
Yeah.
since that movie came out, I've started just Tom Jones and for alien
Whoa.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been
Call
watching
that
alien
2
stuff
minutes ago.
nonstop. Unsolved mysteries,
Hell
like
yeah.
old '90s unsolved mysteries, the alien edition, all that stuff. I'm all about it, and I feel like this movie would have been a lot better if we got some anal probing, but we didn't get any.
I agree. Zero
Oh yeah,
anal
that's kind of
probing.
surprising.
Very
It
surprising.
feel
would
like-
have been fun.
I feel like in the zeitgeist, like not movie wise necessarily, but there's been more like conspiracy theory and true crime have been more
Yeah.
like the
Dude,
thing.
That's
we
true.
You know,
live
so-
a conspiracy theory.
I know, and that's why it's because we reflect it basically. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. I would love to see more like sort of lighthearted alien shit going on. The storming
Yeah.
of Area 51 was as close as we came, I think.
Yeah, this still- yeah. Well, I guess you're right.
Bunch of
'cause
kids Naruto running at fucking army bases.
I
and shit.
forgot that happened.
yeah, I guess if you had to trace it, it was like big on aliens and the X-Files and stuff, and then we had a lot of vampire stuff with the Twilight and everything going on, and then Walking Dead with the zombies, we had a shit ton of that, and then yeah, it was like true crime. It's just been a lot of, and maybe that's why it feels like a little
Ghosties.
flat.
I mean, the James
there was-
Waniverse exploded
Yeah.
the Ghosties
Yeah.
for a pretty good while, but
There's always
that's
like it's always
true.
overlap. There is a significant overlap for sure, but like
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't-
Yeah.
I don't think we've really kicked off a sci-fi alien renaissance
No.
again at all.
Mm-mm.
So maybe we're in for it. Maybe we're overdue. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that we get to it. But like lighthearted in general and in cinema is
Mhm.
not really
There's-
happening right now.
True.
The aliens in this movie, they're not like anal probing anybody, but they do have like a sense
I don't
of
know that.
swag to them. Yeah, we don't know that, I guess.
They got
But-
silky red draws.
Dude, I know they're just wearing like satin drawers on their fucking spaceships and nothing else. And they're like, cutting people's heads off and putting them on chihuahuas and just they're like entertaining themselves. Look at
Chihuahuas.
Playboy.
They had
and shit.
huge glutes, but like underdeveloped hamstrings.
Yeah, it's all about that.
Dude, their
ass.
Yeah.
bodies are nasty. They're just their
Oh yeah,
little
they're
string
gross.
bean bodies,
Don't
and they're.
body shame the
I'm gonna
aliens.
body shame.
They
That's-
got
I mean,
big
that's always one-
brains.
This movie has this kind of like underlying. Well, it kind of has a underlying a lot of things. But it's kind of like nastiness. Where even the lady says like, oh, they're disgusting at first. Like their brains are exposed, their bodies are. Flesh colored, but so scrawny and like disgusting looking. I kind of like how they play
I mean,
that
they're
up.
green. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
flesh colored.
Really?
that
Were
much is
they?
hard to
They weren't.
understand.
Were they
They're
green?
green.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well, they're like they're multicolored, but they're like their brains are a little
Greenish,
Yellowish
side.
green.
They
It's
got
like
some, like,
aquamarine and
red,
green.
The giant
yeah.
broccoli heads.
yeah.
Yeah. They got little gill flaps.
Dude,
and
those
shit.
Yeah,
flaps!
they're
Oh
nice.
my god!
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
And they're
Dude,
like
I don't like
they're
the
absolutely
gills.
true to the
I don't like the
trading
gills
cards.
either.
Oh
I
yeah.
like it all. Like I'm not bothered. I've never been
Uh.
like none of it ever like creeped me out because I don't know, A, because it was so silly, but B, because like the CG isn't like believable.
It's not very good.
It's just stylish and fun. Like the
It
character
looks
design is
real.
great, and it's because it's like so I don't get creeped out by it at all. When their heads pop, they look like fucking jujubes or not jujubes, like
What?
gushers.
Gusher.
Portion.
Yeah.
I wish I had my jujube bump in front of me now.
I think
Yeah.
for a movie made in 1996, I thought the CG was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Really?
for
I thought
the
it was
era
actually
it was
kinda fun.
fine,
Yeah.
but believable
Yeah.
it's not. It's
No,
just
yeah,
cool.
it was just
Like,
more fun, and that's what you
Yeah.
want from a movie like
I don't
this.
think it was trying to
Yeah.
go for believable anyways. I think it's trying to
No, I
capture
agree.
that tone
It's
and
a style.
style. Yeah, I think it does it really well.
I don't think they could have gone more believable though. I think they probably
No.
would have gone a little more believable if they could have, but I
Well-
don't think it needed it. Obviously,
Yeah.
Burton wanted to have all the aliens be stop motion at first.
Oh shit.
And
that would have
he
been
got
so
a-
fucking fun.
He got a team of like 80 people and they started putting stuff together. And then the money men said, nah, dog, you can't do it. And they
Damn,
refused
money
to do it.
man.
It was going to cost an extra like 20 million or something like that. It was like a lot
It
of
would have
money.
held up a lot better though.
It would have, but also, I mean, maybe. Stop motion has come a long way too since then. Actually,
Yeah.
like looking at like
Yeah.
Kubo the Three Strings and all that shit. But like, I don't know. They both have like a lot of merit. I think that what we got actually is pretty fucking fun. Like, I don't have a lot of
Yeah.
problem with it. So
I agree.
I'm in a rare case of siding with the Moneyman on this one that wasn't
Hey.
necessary. But I would also love to see.
Randy.
I'd love to see like I don't know, test footage or something of the stop
Yeah,
motion.
that would be
fun. Great.
cool.
Bob, any specials on there? Anything like
Specials?
that?
Yeah, I don't think there's any like stop motion footage. There's
Well.
some there's boner features for sure.
What is what are you even buying?
Yeah, Bob, come on.
I don't know, money man. Whatever you're selling, okay.
Added nothing to that conversation.
Yeah, I don't. So the aliens don't bother me, and since they're played as fun, it's like very easy to overlook. But I mean, there were some things this time. They don't necessarily bother me because the tone ramps it up, but I wouldn't say that they hold up. You know, the dog, situations of switching the dog out on the body and stuff like that.
Oh,
The lasers are fun. I do love how the lasers kind of like engulf people, and then they're these bright ass skeletons.
Yeah.
Like
That shit holds up.
skeletons.
When it's a mix of those things, I think it works really well in the ridiculous tone. Something about like the dog stuff to me. I'm trying to think of maybe some other instances of where it didn't bother me. I do love the woman with the crazy hair though. She is a good mix of over the top campy ridiculousness and like kind of creepy, honestly.
you're talking about the disguised.
Yeah, the disguised
Spy
one
Girl?
who goes
Yes.
into the White House or whatever. Yeah.
one with
Yeah.
Martin Short. That scene is fucking incredible. I
Yeah.
love
It
that
is,
scene.
yeah.
You know, I
Um,
read she's from We're Still Here. She's in
Is
that
she
movie.
really?
I read that after I watched the movie this morning. I was like, oh man, I gotta say that.
I didn't realize that.
Huh.
I know
Yeah.
And now
And
you
it's-
have.
at the time of the filming of this movie, that was Tim Burton's girlfriend. I don't know if they ever got married or anything. I'm not sure.
Makes sense.
Um,
She's
but-
super pale.
Yeah, the way she like floats.
You can't like the sun and date.
and Tim Burton. Yeah, I don't know if she had like rollerblades on or if they had her on like a dolly but like she moves in this super unnatural way. Or maybe she's
It's
just
gotta
able
be
to
the
do that.
dolly. Yeah.
It's badass, man.
Yeah, I was thinking she was on the rollerblades or something,
Yeah.
chewing that winter fresh.
Shooting around. Martin Short was fucking horny as shit.
Oh yeah, he was fucking up whores. And like, what's up with this, the White House security? They just
They don't give a
they just
fuck.
let Clifford bring
Oh,
whores
of
into
course.
the damn White House just willy nilly.
Clifford? Did you
Yeah.
call us as Clifford?
That's Clifford, dog. Every time I
Oh.
see Martin Short, I call him Clifford.
Well, I like
All right.
the kind of I guess political criticisms or just the kind of commentary on the day. It's like so quaint now, because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, these liberals don't want to fight and they're inviting women into the White
I
House
know,
and all those
yeah.
kind of things. It's like, man, woof, what a golden
Oh, well, like-
age.
If
Well, I don't know.
only.
I think it's like trying to do the bipartisan split commentary, and in that it kind of loses any like real anything to say.
I don't
It's
think
just
it's
like
really trying to say
politicians
anything,
are
yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think I think it's really just like everything in this movie is a non sequitur to the next. It seems like it's just
Yeah.
little vignettes that are fun, and that kind of makes sense considering it is from these fucking trading cards. These are
True.
not like whatever story exists in those trading cards. They're in service to whatever was drawn for that one trading card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This movie could have easily been a series of shorts with beginning, middle, and end, and then be fine. Like it would be an anthology.
The screenwriter apparently didn't realize there were stories on the backs of the cards before he wrote the screenplay. So I don't think he actually took a whole lot of inspiration from the card's story anyway. But
Well, then he erred in the best way, I guess.
before we move on from the fucking in the White House, I love the throwaway line Martin Short has where he's like, "We call this the Kennedy room."
Dude.
It's just like a fuck palace. Is all it is. Like
The
I love
Aquaria.
that the round
Kennedy
bed, the
Yeah.
wet bar that's like dark and it's fucking.
Dude, he made
cracks me
two
up.
martinis in like 2 seconds.
I know.
I was like, what the
It's
fuck?
the fastest bartender in the world. Martin Short is trying to get it in.
No, man, you call him Clifford.
Dude.
See Martin Short, you call him Clifford.
Big red dick.
No, you guys ever seen the movie Clifford
No.
with him?
Movie
no.
Clifford, where
No.
he plays a child, and it's extremely
Yes,
upsetting
he's a
on so many
crumb.
levels.
No,
and he
I don't
wants to
know.
go to Dinosaur
It's like
Land.
It's like
Uh-uh.
it's like
Oh my
Problem
God.
Child, except the child is a 35-year-old
Ugh.
Martin
But he
Short.
plays a 10-year-old kid.
That sounds
And was it
He's-
Charles
he's
Grodin or
hilarious.
something?
He's always kind of bothered me in a little bit, or like in a little way, which also kind of leads me to an interesting thing about this movie, which Matt kind of brought up when we did Starship Troopers, but it's got this kind of layer foundation of obnoxiousness and through so many aspects, and some of the actor choices that are being played here, but also like some of the style choices, like when they're doing her talk show and her outfit with the black and white patterns going on, there's just like this level of tacky obnoxiousness that makes me like irrationally angry sometimes, where I'm just like, that is
Damn.
terrible. Like it's got this like layer foundation of obnoxiousness kind of like built into almost every kind of scene or whatever,
Yeah.
which is interesting that it is still so kind of fun to watch, but I could easily see somebody being completely turned off by this movie in the way that Matt was.
I
Sure,
guess.
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
No,
I think the tackiness,
dumb
Yeah,
strike.
the
sure.
tackiness,
Yeah.
the tackiness to me is like, yeah, it's there, but like that's an intentional pastiche of the era
Yeah.
that it's pulling
Sure.
from. Like,
Yeah. Mhm.
and so like to me, it's like it's all part of the. It's like Austin Powers is fucking tacky too, but it's fun
Sure.
as shit. So who gives a fuck, right? Like it's just supposed to distill that down into a joke, basically, visual and otherwise. Certainly
Mhm.
visual in this film.
It's
Um,
impossible to dislike this movie. So that's all I
That's
need
not
to say.
true. I don't know about that.
You,
No,
you know
I
what
think-
took a minute? You know what took a minute for me to realize that Jack Nicholson played two characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the Vegas
Kind of
guy-
unnecessarily.
I thought it was
Very
Nick Nolte for a minute.
Nick Nolte.
Nick
Yeah,
Until like three, until like
That's
three
fair.
scenes in, I was like, I thought it was Nick Nolte,
Yeah.
but I was like, that's not him. And then I realized it was Jack Nicholson the whole entire time.
Oh, that's Jack Nicholson doing Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that whole character and plot was kind of nothing. That was
A lot
Yeah.
of them were though. That's the
yeah,
problem.
like Jack
If
Black.
you want
that's
to
the
look at this
thing.
as a
Yeah, all the
Well,
names
slice
kind
of
of
life
popping
thing.
up. Yeah, it's like, oh shit, I had forgotten a lot about, even like Natalie Portman's in here, but yeah, everybody only gets like 2 or 3 scenes outside of the president, outside of Byron. I guess those are kind of the big two.
well, and DeVito kind of like exists in a
That's
I don't know. Everybody
not
kind
a
of
way,
exists
yeah.
in a plot like structure, but they
Yeah.
don't actually. Most of them don't actually have arcs.
Well,
No,
like,
yeah.
that's
Jack Black and his family are really important. Like Jack Black himself isn't really, but like his kid
Richie
brother
His brother,
gets his
yeah.
grandma, and then they find out how to defeat it. So like that whole family kind of plays into it in a way.
Natalie
yeah.
Portman doesn't do shit. Like the most
No,
people,
no.
and like there's like probably like there's like 3 islands with like 1 or 2 characters that have any
Actually
say in
do
it.
really
anything,
matter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even Martin Short doesn't do a whole fucking lot. He just has that cool ass scene, and it's great. Like I don't have
Yeah.
any complaints
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. The movie was supposed to, I think it's got like, I don't know, 20 characters or so around there. Originally, it was supposed to have like 80,
Holy God.
which I
That's a
can't,
lot.
it
That
would have been
would
like
be
a
so
4-hour
fucking
movie or something.
Yeah.
Like
Or just
Would've been
one,
nuts.
everybody gets one scene.
one line, one
Yeah.
single
They
line.
already
and
kind of
that's it.
doing that with some of it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did like how they had different locations, so you kind of see how different parts of the United States and even the world were reacting to an alien invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New York, Tennessee, Vegas, Washington, D.C.,
They're in Kentucky at one point.
Kentucky.
The very beginning. I think.
Yeah, that was
The cows on fire, the barbecue.
cold open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great open, dude.
See, like effects like that don't look very good. Like
No, they
that
don't.
doesn't really hold up, you know.
But the joke still lands.
Doesn't
and
matter,
That's
yeah.
the thing. It's
Yeah.
like the silliness of the movie makes me able to forgive a lot. Like the funniness, like it's silly and funny. Like if it didn't make me giggle, then that would not work for me at all. So if you're not into this kind of humor, then yes, those are the people that aren't going to get much out of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're on board or you're not, then that's fine.
I like this movie a hell of a lot more than I like Independence Day, and I'll take that hot take with me all the way to the grave.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
You know, I'd
I
ride
know.
with you. I'd ride with you with that opinion.
Yeah.
God bless
Because I haven't
you.
seen this movie in forever, but I've seen Independence Day, I don't know, countless of times, but I had more fun watching this. Like, if I had to choose right now or tomorrow, pick either one of those movies to
Yeah.
watch, I'd probably pick this.
Yeah. Watch this one on the 4th of July. Fucking Independence Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Sure.
Damn. I
Yeah.
mean, you can watch both.
No, we don't have the time. because you
I
also
don't.
gotta
I
watch
genuinely
Jaws.
don't care
Yeah.
about Independence Day. So like, I'm a
Yeah.
hater, I think. But This movie is
Yeah.
fun as fuck.
This
so.
this movie does work. I mean, it's not as they could have easily worked in an Independence Day like, you know, thing, but it kind of just has that feel. It has that like similar kind of feel. It's just more
Yeah.
over the top cheesy versus
Yeah.
that action seriousness of
That-
it all. Yeah.
War of the Worlds
Yeah.
vibes, that inspiration of War of the Worlds, it all
For
comes
sure.
kind of from that, I think.
It's only
Yeah.
man. This is like they could have easily turned this into something else, and something that would have fucking sucked. And this to me is exactly what this concept needed it to be. Not taking itself seriously, just sequences of funny shit happening and like ridiculous shit happening, and then the humans acting ridiculous, not really biting commentary, but little like boy, I hate lawyers level humor, like that sort of shit. Like
Yeah.
like chintzy stuff, and then it ends with humanity falling ass backwards into a solution after half of the country dies. Like that fucking works for me. When
Yeah.
fucking Jack Nicholson gets a call from was it Japan, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the Martians are here. They're
France.
It was France. Yeah.
Maurice!
France." He's like, "Get out of there, Maurice.
Yeah.
Get
Get
out of
out
there."
now!
It was too
That
late.
joke
That shit's
really
hilarious.
hit me hard this time. I think it's so funny how every time they're just like, even at the end when they have the little machine where they're like, no, don't run away. We're your friends or whatever. How they just roll in there and then we're like, yeah, we come in peace. And they just blast everybody every time. They just
Every
like roll.
It reminded me of the golden straight chilling rules. Like, don't be too fucking polite that you get your ass killed. You know, it's like one of those
Yeah.
examples.
Yeah, Pierce Brosnan is like the poster child of this movie.
I love the president. Like Jack Nicholson has so many good lines in this. He, after Congress gets annihilated, he says, "I want the people to know they still have 2 out of 3 branches of the government working for them, and that ain't bad."
And that ain't
That's
bad.
fucking great.
Love
That's
that line.
fucking great.
That's a
I
good
really
one.
wish they had gotten George C. Scott as the like militaristic general, though. Like they were clearly
Yeah.
trying to channel that spirit, and it didn't quite get there for me. That actor was fine, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like it just wasn't heightened enough, which is insane because he was going so big.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
He went so big, but then they shrunk his ass and stomped on him.
They sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
that's
like-
a cool. Yeah, hand. I was gonna
The
say that's a
hand
cool death
flag?
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and also Nicholson actually delivers a pretty heartfelt speech before he gets killed too. Like,
And
why
that
can't we all just
shit-eating
get
grin
along?
at the end is so
Yeah.
fucking great. Where he gives that speech and the thing, and like the leader, like he sheds a tear, and
Yeah, yeah.
he cuts back to Nicholson. And he does like this, like ugh, sort of face, like kind of trying to smile, grimace, sort of thing. Is great. Nicholson is like he's just having a fucking blast with this movie. Obviously,
He agreed to do this movie before he ever read the script. Like, he just knew that
Well, he had already
Fucking-
worked with Burton. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Tim Burton wanted him on the movie, and he's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I'll do it." And then he did 2 roles.
yeah.
Um,
The other role, I mean, he goes big, but it's not as like it doesn't do anything.
The Nick
Yeah.
Nolte role.
Yeah.
The Nick Nolte role. Like I understand what they're going for, I guess, like as a character, but it doesn't service anything, and it's not quite funny enough for it to.
There weren't even like
matter
really
to
big
me.
jokes in that plot.
No.
Like
he
even
was
the
just
way
kind of being big. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
Mhm.
I wanted more Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
Me
same.
too.
I
Yeah.
wanted more Frank.
More Frank blast him. He didn't blast.
I mean, he was rolling hot on that dice table, though.
He was.
Yeah, rolling them bones,
It's a
dog.
lucky thing I had my pieces. Anyway, I started blasting. Bang!
Fine.
I didn't know if they wanted money or something sexual.
Something more sexual.
Something.
Always comes back to Sunny.
It's one or the other.
Anyways.
Money or sex.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, how do you like this movie is like it feels like it could have been like a 15 episode season of an Adult Swim show, but it like on an A-list budget. That's what it feels like to me. And like I don't know, we like Red Letter Media just reviewed this again recently, and like
Oh, really?
they had some like pretty interesting commentary on it. They weren't so harsh on it as I thought they would be, but it was like they were a little critical of it, being like it didn't have a lot to say. It's very disconnected or whatever. And I love that about it. I love that this
Yeah.
feels like a bunch of shorts. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't
That's what I
bother me
keep
at
coming
all.
back to. They
Like,
made a
this-
good point, though. I have to agree with them that like it's kind of a cool idea to have this whole movie in black and white, since it's pastiching on 50s,
Yeah, I
50s films
love
as
the
well.
color palette though.
I do too.
Yeah,
I
I
think
do
it's like it kind
too.
of works either way. It's kind of
Yeah,
I would love to see a version of it like that.
I think
Yeah.
it's kind of like the Mad Max thing where like I want the color original version, but to have an option to watch it in black and white would be really cool.
Yeah,
Especially
They made
Burton.
a great call there.
Yeah, especially Burton style black and white. I think that would
Ed
work.
Wood
But
level and stuff.
but it would take some. I really love the ridiculously colored skeletons that are laying
me
around. So it
too.
would take some, but it would add a more creepy factor, maybe. I guess. That would be cool. That would be.
I think it would make it eerier, and that was like kind of what they seemed to be aiming at. And I think that's true. I would love to see an eerier version of the same movie somehow.
That's
but like
true.
looking at it as it is in this like insane, like that opening scene, not opening scene, but like the title sequence where they just start rising out of the like brightest fucking monkey ass red Mars you've ever seen in your life. That shit fucking rules. It's so oversaturated and ridiculous. I love all that shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like it both ways. Yes, I like them both ways.
Yeah, I love the color palette. I didn't know Red Letter Media talked about this. They were fucking biting off our schedule, guys.
Damn,
like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
Sons of
They're
bitches.
coming at the Kings, obviously.
Obviously,
You best
Let's
not
go
miss.
fight them. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I did think that this movie was fairly brutal, though. It's not like the gore is definitely like for comedic effect, and it's mostly CG. There's like definitely real skeletons, but they're red and green, so you're not like
Disgusted.
Yeah, disgusted. But like you've got bodies like basically melting like off of the skeletons. Then you've got these Martian heads like popping like pimples in their little like suits. People are running around on fire. Like there's a lot of like carnage, but it's not. It's done for laughs.
It's cartoonish
mostly.
as shit.
Yeah,
It's like
cartoonish.
Yeah.
that's not. It's like Mad Magazine carnage. It doesn't. It's not at all, and it's not meant to be. I don't think horrific in any way. It's
I
very
don't
much
think
for
so.
comedic.
Yeah.
It's not meant to have any kind of impact because they kill a dog, and nobody
Yeah.
feels anything,
Yeah,
about
I
the
didn't like
dog
that scene.
disintegrating.
The
I
dog
always
saves
feel a
the
little bad
president.
about the dog, actually. But
Yeah.
But you know about that
That's
scene?
just-
I wanted to bring it up. The woman snuck into the room and the dog did not wake up.
Yeah.
It took like
Yeah.
a solid minute or like right
Yeah.
when she
well,
pulled out
to be
the
fair,
laser.
she floats.
Yeah,
I
That's
get,
true.
but dogs, man, they
They know
hear
everything.
everything.
That's true. Yeah.
they know.
Yeah.
They can read your soul.
Glenn
Yeah.
Close stood a better chance than that dog. I doubt it.
Man, she got killed by a fucking
She-
chandelier.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. Come on,
Dude, I love.
Gordon.
I don't know. Like that's the like not quite biting social satire shit that like as dumb as it is, just seeing like the hyper materialistically over obsessed first lady that's also kind of like low key giving racist undertones. I think that's kind of fun, and like it doesn't amount to shit. Like it doesn't
Fun.
matter for anything. It's not
Yeah.
all that like. There's not even like more than like a couple second like moments I can point to like, see, that was the funny part. It's all just
Yeah.
kind of a humorous character, and I think that's what they were trying to do with the Nick Nolte Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson character.
Yeah.
It didn't land as well for me for some because it doesn't really point at any one thing besides just this guy's kind of a drunk billionaire idiot, and that's
Yeah.
it. Like you can kind of
Sure.
go a million ways with
Just
that.
caricatures
And yeah,
watching them
Yeah.
do their thing. Yeah.
And I guess in that way, to kind of like not be so praising in this film. I mean, I do like it, but a lot of what we're saying, I think, does come from nostalgia, and we kind of prefaced as as much. But what I would say though is every kind of element I think is fun. It's very particular in its style, and I think that those styles mostly like work and gel well. But I feel like some of the elements that it really builds itself on are like never top out. Like they always just kind of ride a medium. So like there's no like strong storyline. Even the comedy, like I never like bust a gut. I think like I think that's fun, that's silly, ha ha ha. But I'm never for a comedy, I'm never feeling like there's never a moment where I think like that's comedy gold. I feel like it's more riding that fun loving kind of tone, and everything. Like I don't feel like anything I could point to any element and be like, that's the peak, that's like everything kind of culminates to there. That's like what it also, it kind of rides like a song that is good and pleasant, has a good hook, but it's not very dynamic. You know, it kind of like rides.
I'd feel that too. Like it kind of just has this like same tonality throughout. It's not dynamic and it doesn't really change much of anything.
There's no peaks and valleys,
but there is, like, you look at, I think that has something to do with how unfocused it is, but like I'm okay with that. Like ultimately, I just think it's like, I don't know. I like the little, like, there's a couple of jokes in there that I point to as some of my favorites. This one being the chief among them.
People of Congress.
That's fucking great. That's fucking hilarious.
Oh shit! That old lady loves and they flush Congress.
Yeah, dude, that shit ruled. And I don't know. It's like there's only a couple of those moments, but you like look at like big broad comedies like this. I keep thinking of Austin Powers again.
Yeah,
and there are maybe more like big comedic moments in that movie, but it also maintains a similar like
it does.
Like everything's silly. Like,
but if
like,
you had
there's
to
no
ask
reason for it to
me-
get too level, like except for like the few moments where they try and make like Veronica or whatever, like make his love interest work or whatever. That you don't even need that shit. Nobody remembers those movies for that.
Well, if you like before I watch this, maybe probably even now, if you're like, hey, think about these two movies, Austin Powers, Mars Attacks, which one is funnier? I would be like Austin Powers by 1 million in my mind. You know, like I think that joke, or I mean but that movie's, you know, a straight comedy, but
and it's more focused.
It is a lot more there. It's a central character and stuff, and he has this kind of personality. I think that's kind of what this movie is lacking, is like, even like, you know, the president has like some great moments, the grandma and the kid have like some fun moments, but because you spread yourself thin against like so many, like when Jack Black died, I was like, oh my God, I kind of forgot that just so many people just don't really do anything. He has like one kind of joke where he charges in and the gun falls apart, and then that's it. And
he
it's
also
not like...
ran in the line of fire.
Yeah.
And bear in mind,
yeah,
this is not a Jack Black that's known to the public at this point. So he had been in. He's a side character.
Yeah, Never Ending Story Part 3 or some shit.
Yeah, so like it's not like it was like, oh, Jack Black's in this. Like, that's how we react now, not then. So I understand him being kind of killed off easy. But Michael J. Fox bites the big one immediately.
Jack Black was actually like small enough to believe that he would be like in the army, or like he was a slim dude in this movie.
He didn't have hot wing money yet.
Hot wing money?
Yeah.
He was eating salads, bag salads.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
I'm not understanding
Jack Black's diet. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, he was slim. He was young.
It's not in the file.
There's something that like dawned on me when I was watching this, like speaking of, to the point of like there's no real like central character. It's just sort of like just a bunch, like an ensemble cast, I guess. It made me think of Wes Anderson's filmography and how like that's sort of his style of filmmaking overall. And I was like, this is just like kind of Tim Burton's Wes Anderson movie almost in that way. And made me think of that.
I think you might have it backwards. I think Asteroid City is probably Wes Anderson's Mars Attacks. And I also think like I see more Christopher Guest in terms of the tone of these movies. Like I feel
I can see that.
Like that's just like this is like an ungrounded, untethered to reality like ensemble comedy, and like ensemble comedy and with like just a little bit of off the ground is what Christopher Guest does. It's like they blew that shit right the fuck up and threw aliens in.
All Christopher Guest it's all improv though. This doesn't have that improv.
Yeah,
I would
true.
say if you're comparing
feeling
to Wes,
it's just the ensemble that I'm reacting to, I guess. And maybe you too.
Mostly.
I would say like Edward Scissorhands is like in tone and like what's going, like the setting and stuff is more Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were okay. I don't know what I thought you were saying. Okay.
Yeah. Just the ensemble cast and like the bright color palette. I think if this movie was like less violent and like more symmetrical and muted in tone, it would be probably Asteroid City. I don't know.
It's just like Tropic. I'm looking at like ensemble comedies, and there's like a lot more like apt comparisons actually. Like Tropic Thunder is probably a little closer.
Yeah.
Anchorman's a little closer. Fucking Monty Python and the Holy Grail is a little closer. These are like this is like high tier silliness.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what that was, but okay. Juice? Oh, Juice is gone.
Oh shit. We're a man down.
He got taken by the aliens.
He's getting stuff put in his butt, and he probably loves it.
Yeah.
Don't touch that dial. You need to hear this.
Yeah, you do. This movie had some like pretty cool set pieces. I thought they used that that neon sign graveyard in Las Vegas at one point. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, they always use. Anytime there's a movie in Vegas, they have
I know.
to go there.
It's probably like $50 for the day or whatever to shoot there, but
Yeah.
that looks pretty dope. Of course, the White House, the donut shop, the like underground bunker. There's just like some pretty neat filming locations. Actually, that I forget the name of the casino, the one that Jack Nicholson's character is in, and when it blows up, that was a real demolition of a real casino in Las Vegas. It was like a famous casino. And it looks like it's got like a saucer.
A UFO, yeah, it does look like a UFO at the top, yeah.
Yeah, so that was like a real building that they blew up, and Burton wanted to use the footage.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's got a restaurant at the top that kind of like slowly spins around?
I think it did.
That is the holy shit. I just
It's
stayed.
the holy shit.
No, I stayed at that that actual casino the last time I was in Vegas. Too, I'm trying to think of it.
Is there one called the Starlight? I'm just guessing.
I think that's
sure
an old Vegas. Stardust, I think.
Stardust, okay. Yeah, maybe that's the one that blew. I forget the name of it, but yeah, there's some cool set pieces. Anyways, I think they use most of the setting as well.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I mean, I think that like there's some locations that are pretty obviously not realistic, and then some that are. This is also something I'm creeping off of Red Letter Media on. I should stop watching their shit.
You should, like, Randy. Stop. Come on,
but it's a
this
good
is
observation.
An
It's
show.
and I'm giving credit. So,
Yeah, come on.
I don't know. I like the one area of this film that really feels like a real spot is the DC settings. You know what I mean? Everything else kind of feels kind of also heightened and silly to me. Like Las Vegas just kind of feels that way because of what it is, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But even like when they're meeting out in the desert or whatever, because the centerpiece of that is a fucking flying saucer, it feels really heightened. Like all that shit feels really like Justin was saying earlier, it reaches a pitch and just doesn't let go of that pitch the whole movie. And the settings reflect that typically. I think the only, with DC being the exception, with whatever, Jim Brown's wife and kids, like that's kind of
Jackie
way
Brown?
more slice of life than anything else. Yes, thank you.
Oh shit, yeah, she was.
That's Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, that casino, the Stratosphere.
Stratosphere.
Yeah, we went up there too, and it was spinning really slow. It was cool. Did you puke? No. We tried getting a table, but it was a long wait.
I'm sure, yeah.
They looked you up and down and said, "Now we're full. Sorry."
Yeah, we had a friend. He won a bunch of money. He bought like $100 worth of White Castle. Can you guess who this was? Oh, it was Mike. It was Walter. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then the funny
There's
story,
no one else in my life that would make that decision.
And then he was up a lot of money, right? He put it all on like red or black at the next casino, and he lost it. And his drink came, and they're like, "Sir, are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, that drink is free now." And they just gave it to him.
That drink and the next one.
Put it all on black.
Why did he do that?
Damn.
Oh, you're drunk. Oh, Mike. Yeah, when you got a belly full of White Castle, you start making dumb decisions.
That's how they get you.
I mean, one could argue that this is the first of many bad decisions, actually.
The last of many bad decisions.
Ooh.
Oh shit. Well, yeah. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we rate Mars Attacks? No.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. So out of 5, Mikey, why don't you kick us off, man? How do you feel about Mars Attacks?
You know, I probably would rate this a lot higher if I watched it more when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But Dusk Till Dawn was taking up all my time on the Loop channel, so I kept on watching that over and over again. But watching it today and yesterday, it was I had a lot of fun watching it. I wish some of the roles, some of the actors had more screen time than they did.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm kind of glad that when the aliens would speak their language, it was kind of brief because they have a sharp language. It kind of hurt my ears sometimes, but it's kind of fun to like imitate because I was like speaking like them in my house for a little bit. I don't want to do it now because it's kind of loud through the mics. I won't like do my impression. But overall, what was that? A pig?
Dude, that's a Sasquatch.
Oh, that's Sasquatch. I was like, what the hell was that?
Everybody knows that.
I do now. But no, overall, I give this a 3.
Okay, 3 out of 5. Yeah. Juice, why don't you go next? How you feel out of 5?
Yeah, I liked revisiting this film. Tim Burton, especially early Burton, it's just got some good feels, man. And like I think Randy kind of brought it up a little bit, but also like the Elfman, is here. It just feels right. The Tim Burton style, the Elfman, everything's super bright, but it's got this dark, quirky tone. And the older I get, the more and more I appreciate this early, like I was watching an interview the other day, not even for this movie, with Danny Elfman, and I was just like, what a weird guy. He's just he's so weird, but I'm so glad that he's found success in being himself in that quirky nature. I'm like, the world
by day and a wild man by night
needs more of that. People who are strange, not for the act of seeking attention or getting big on some, it's just like that's their nature and they have found themselves in their work and stuff. So I just it's a great combination. I love the soundtrack in this. I don't think the effects hold up, but because of the way they structured it, it's okay. I like the tone. Like I said, it's not super dynamic. I was gonna say that the most kind of gory parts, or the scene I thought, other than the finger kind of getting bit off, that's pretty dark, but is when what's his name, his body is totally disassembled on the spaceship where his head Pierce Brosnan, his head is there because they've got his torso kind of like ripped open and blood's dripping from his neck and stuff like that. That's pretty gory, but I think my favorite scene is the woman going into the White House because it hits the darkest kind of tone, I think, and it works really well. It's super creepy, but also there's still a lot of fun going on there. Yeah, but even still, even at like when I'm looking at Burton's kind of height, success in all these films, I would still rank this lower on that list. I mean, you're talking about things like Batman and Batman Returns, Edward Scissorhands, Ed Wood, Sleepy Hollow, Beetleman. So like I would put that middle to lower tier, honestly. So yeah, this is fun, but it's kind of capped for me. It does have that kind of built-in obnoxiousness that, like, if you're not in the kind of mood for, I could see where it could kind of grind on you a little bit. But I love a lot about this. I love the aesthetic, the skeletons and the like ray guns and the just UFO flying saucer shapes and stuff. It's a lot of fun. And so I'll give it I'll say 3.5. I'll go to 3.5.
3.5 from Juicy J.
Yeah. Bob, out of 5, where are you going to rank Mars Attacks?
I really like this movie quite a bit. The cast is incredible. Even if some of the characters you don't get to spend a lot of time with, I'd rather have, Jack Black or somebody else recognizable than just like a red shirt that you don't really care about at all. I think the recognizability of these like A-listers just sort of adds a little extra charm to these characters that you only get to spend a very small amount of time with. The CG of these the Martians and all of their toys, I think nails the tone that Burton was going for perfectly. It's cheesy. I think it was cheesy when it came out. It's cheesy now, but in the way that it was intended to be. I don't think it is aged poorly. I think somebody who was watching it for the first time might think that. But I think if you look at this movie and look at its influences and inspirations, I think you'll see pretty quickly that they were able to nail what they were going for. I like that it feels kind of expansive and you get to see these like slices of life and all these different cities and stuff. I think there are a handful of jokes that really made me bust a gut, they're not. It's not like consistently hilarious necessarily, but that fucking Kennedy room joke slayed my ass. It got me good. I love like the way the aliens look. They've got these like weird machines that they use, like this tiny little like horn thing that absorbs a bomb and like farts it back out. There's like an Iron Giant machine thing that chases the kid around in a truck. They're red and green blasters that turn people's skeletons red and green when they die. The look of the spaceships with like the little ray gun that comes out the bottom, just their overall outfits. The hand flag murder thing, the sexy lady outfit thing, and her like nitrogen chewing gum. Like there's just a lot of like pretty interesting things that they put into the way that the Martians work and look in this movie. I think there's some pretty cool set pieces they already rattled off. The choice of this like crazy yodeling song being the thing that defeats these incredibly intelligent and well-equipped Martians is fucking hilarious. This like goofy old yodeling nonsense just blows their
Was it
brains
Marty
up.
Robbins?
Slim Whitman. Yes.
I downloaded the song after I watched the movie.
Did you rocking out to it all?
It was just funny.
It is
Take that shit to the gym, bro.
Blast that shit. That'll make you back squat 400 real quick.
Yeah.
The heavyweight champion of the world, like boxing Martians and like cracking their skulls, I think was a cool scene. I don't really have a lot of negatives. I love the score with the theremin. Maybe you could have connected all these characters together to drive like a bigger point home. I don't know. I think there's enough that you can pull from this movie if you really want to, specifically with Jack Nicholson as the president and everything he says being essentially nonsense in a very hilarious way. I think there's a lot to pull out of it if you want to, but I think it's insanely entertaining. I think Burton nailed what he was going for, as far as I can tell, and my enjoyment of this it's through the roof, and some of that definitely is nostalgia. It's got to be, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5.
Hell yeah, dude!
I love this movie. I really do.
I feel like I should have watched
I
this
wish
with
Justin
you.
had heard that.
That's what he gets for taking a shit in the middle of the cast.
Oh, that's why you don't drop trow in the middle of the cast. People.
I know.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about is when Christina Applegate had her one scene when she was getting banged in the damn trailer when the alien Gundam came and just tore them apart. Or they were breathing against the glass, remember, when they were having sex?
Yeah, staying alive. Yeah, that scene and the scene from... In my mind, that scene and the last shot of They Live are basically the same thing, even though they're a little bit different. Do you know how that movie ends with somebody like looking down and realizing they're banging a fucking alien?
Yeah, is Staying Alive going to be on our bang list from now on?
Oh yeah,
I mean that's for you to decide.
You say booty hole
Juice.
leak?
Booty hole eating.
Oh, is it leak?
Bob, repeat your score for Juice.
It's a 5.
Okay.
It's not giving you what you want.
You're gonna fucking no sell it. We're making an entertainment product right now.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
Thank
You're
you,
so fucking
Jesus.
stupid.
You
There we
Martian
go.
fucker.
You got your head up your ass, son.
You gotta spin those
pull it
drama
out
plates
for you.
around. We gotta keep that shit in the air.
It's
All right.
no lie, J Bob.
Eat my shit, Bob.
If you're gonna have a
sure
shtick, then
dumb
stick
piece
to
of
it.
shit, aren't you, Bob?
I hate this podcast. We're canceling it. So you out.
That's what Randy wants.
That's what he.
That's what the
fucking
people
needs.
want.
Randy wants us to tear each other apart.
So's the
Somebody's
seeds of
got it.
destruction.
Chaos is a ladder, I was told.
Randy, did you give your score?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Randy, we'll go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, well, Bob, you kind of snaked my my thunder there. I was gonna, in my mind, be the irrationally positive one about this movie. Like, there's things about I'm giddy to be in good company. I was not gonna give it a 5. I was gonna give it a 4.5, and I'll explain why. Like, this movie is not, I don't think, perfect. I think, rationally speaking, there's a couple things about it that I think could deter my enjoyment a little bit. Some of the non sequiturs, as much as I love that, like I kind of love that as a format in just this like silly comedy way where it's like I said, like episodic a little bit. But some of the episodes aren't that great. Not every episode is as much of a banger as the last. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and not every character is one I want to spend that much time with. So, it's a little unfocused in that way, both to its both for its benefit and its detriment. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it was like perfect because of that. I also think the CG, I think it is a little bit dated. Like, I think it's pretty clear. As much as I think that they did a great job with the technology of the time, I still think that's a qualifier that needs to be said. Even though I do agree that like it works. I think it works. I just don't think it works on a level that's completely timeless the way that I feel like it could have been if it was made with the exact same aesthetics now, but with like greater textural capabilities, for example. I just think it was just of its time. I think you really have to say that about the CG, certainly when it gets to things beyond the character design. I liked all the set pieces. I loved seeing all these 8-listers get really fucking ridiculous with it. I don't know. I just have such a soft spot for this movie, and I don't really want to take the piss out of it that much. I just have a good time watching it, and I will certainly watch it again many times before I die next week or whatever. So I'm going to give that 4.5.
Randy,
come on.
You're not allowed to go anywhere.
You're stuck with us, motherfucker.
You're
Well,
not allowed to die.
That's fair. Anyway.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, 4.5. I just really love this movie, and I think that it deserves some eyeballs. It deserves some love. I think that it ranks up there. I don't, if I put it up against other Tim Burton movies as Justin did, it would probably be a real scrap to the top with this one and a few others, but I don't even really want to go there. I just like it so much, and it's such a frivolous, silly movie that it really doesn't benefit me to sink my teeth that deep into it, I don't think, which normally is a detriment, but not for this movie.
Yeah. Tim Burton has so many like amazing movies. It's hard to compare most of his filmography to like his top 5. He's got like his top 5, and then there's like a lot in the middle. I mean, he's got some movies that I think are just dog shit, to be honest.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
So I don't know.
He's got like Beetlejuice
a lot in that way, where he's got bangers and just like trash.
Gun to your head.
I mean, Beetlejuice, I think is a far better. Oh, sorry.
I would say Beetleman.
Tim Burton movie.
Gun to your head. Favorite Burton movie.
Probably Beetleman. I think that's probably his best that holds up.
Yeah, I think that's.
I watch Sleepy Hollow every year though too. I mean, it's not my favorite. That's the thing.
I mean, there's Scissorhands.
Probably.
There's fucking Pee-wee's Big Adventure has a very soft spot for that movie in my heart.
That's so hard. I think it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I think I'm gonna say Ed Wood.
That's a good movie.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like you could break them down a number of ways, but like
Big Fish,
for the broad
really
spectrum overall score, I just Batman, for Christ's sake, like
Batman Returns.
I'm gonna say Batman Returns is mine.
Is it?
I love Batman Returns.
I'm more on Batman. Oh man, I didn't know that.
I love Batman Returns. It's also one of my favorite Super Nintendo games.
That's a good game.
Hell yeah! It's a fun beat 'em up. It's great.
I never played that.
I mean, Dumbo's sitting right there, guys.
Dude,
Randy,
shut up.
I mean,
at least you get more Danny DeVito in that.
His Alice in Wonderland movie was. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's some he really has very few movies that are middle of the road.
There's some I haven't seen. You know what? I think it was last Halloween. I did finally watch Frankenweenie that came out in 2012, and that one was pretty good, honestly. I mean, not top tier, but pretty good. You know,
pretty good. Did he do Dark Shadows?
I never saw that. Yeah.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah,
I
never staged that movie.
I never saw Big Eyes.
Dark Shadows. Did you go on a second date after watching Dark Shadows?
Yeah, it was a big mistake.
This man picks shit movies. I want to hang out with him.
I think I fell asleep to it in the theater. Yeah.
Yeah, Charlie and Chocolate Factory. That's pretty woof.
That's a doo-doo movie.
That's a big bad one. I don't know, man. Like you're allowed to have your hits and your misses. That's all good. I just like if we're putting apples to apples for those.
Yeah, he doesn't have as many misses as I thought he did. To be fair, I would say Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Maybe
As
Alice
a
in
director,
Wonder-
no. I think as a
Yeah.
producer, he's dabbled in a few
Producer,
more
sure, he's lent
bad
his
ones,
name
but-
out. Yeah,
That says a lot too, because normally you remember people for mistakes and flaws, but when you think Tim Burton, you think of stuff that you really enjoy.
The bangers. Yeah.
That's the
got
first thing
so
I
many
think of
good
when I
ones,
think
yeah.
of him.
He does.
Yeah.
I think of both, but I mean, I kind of, it's, I don't know. You got your heights, you got your bottoms. I think that if you can really, really like get this much positive out of somebody for like so many of your movies, you can't be considered a bad director. Like you can only be considered
no,
a
he's
director
got
who's done a
that
lot.
style all of his own that he developed.
Yeah.
Like you can't. He's the man still.
I will
he's
also-
made some bad movies.
yeah. Anytime we cover his early stuff, or I think I did Sleepy Hollow on a guest spot. But I feel great, like talking about it and watching it. I just Beetlejuice is still one of my favorite episodes that we do. It's one that I like revisit, and just that movie is so good. And like I said, watching Sleepy Hollow, I talked about Batman Returns last year. It's just like it's fun to pick apart Tim Burton movies because they're so fun and so crafted with like this fantastic vision. I think that it's just
a lot of love.
a lot of
goes into it.
love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you do Wednesday, the TV show?
He did.
and that
Some
was
of
great.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it, but yeah,
It's
people
pretty
love it.
Yeah, it's good.
So with rating 4.5, that's going to put our aggregate for Mars Attacks at a 4 even. Let's go ahead and jump into our Rotten Tomatoes segment. See what the critics and users think about Mars Attacks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mars Attacks Rotten Tomatoes segment. I almost said some wild shit there.
Oh,
This is
no.
the Mars Attacks segment of our Mars Attacks episode. I'm going
Nailed
to give
it.
these gentlemen the chance to guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is on RottenTomatoes.com for the film Mars Attacks. That's both critics and user scores. We're going to start with the critics as we usually do, and we're going to open it up to our esteemed guest to start things off. There are 86 reviews counted here. 86 reviews. What percentage of those reviews would you say are positive reviews for the critics?
86.
86. You think it's 100%? You're going 100%?
Sure. No,
What?
86%.
Oh,
86%.
Okay.
6%.
What if you had money on it? What would you guess then?
Oh, okay. Now you gotta really think about this.
Channel
no,
your
I-
gambler.
I'm, you know what, man? I know this movie's fucking loved. No, I'm gonna say 86%.
All right, 86%. The
Yeah,
boys.
I'll say that.
The boys.
I'll
Boys.
stick
The
with it. I'll
boys.
stick with it.
All right, Bob, you're right next in line. We're going to you. 86 reviews. What percentage are positive?
I'm gonna go. I think below 86%. I don't know. If this is a movie critics are gonna love, but I don't think they're gonna hate it. I'm gonna go with I'll take a 76.
76. All right, Juice, round us out. What are those 86 reviews telling you?
I think Bob is on the right track with that. I don't think critics are going to love this. It's going to be capped, but I think it's generally going to be kind of positive. I'll say 70 and take the low end.
70. All right. Well, the low end is going to serve you quite well. It's 56%.
Oh, wow.
no. Yeah, I
Oof.
didn't think. I thought
That
Bob
is a
was on the
big
right
oof.
track there.
Yeah, I mean,
Mikey lost the bet.
Pretty. Yeah, you did.
Got to put money on it.
better go
no
get that
worries.
White Castle.
All
bro.
on black.
Justin's got White Castle money now. So yeah, true.
I got hell yeet money, boys.
Oh, shit.
This
All
drink's
right,
free.
I'll never forget that.
All right, boys, this is the audience score we're jumping into now. There are over 250,000 ratings, so we got a much bigger pool to pull from here. What do you think, Juice? Start us off. What do you think those 250,000 ratings are telling you? What percentage are positive?
I think this is the one where it's going to be higher than the critics, but I still think it's going to be capped. I mean, I think, we're looking at this like from a nostalgia standpoint, but even Matt coming on Starship Troopers really made me think like, yeah, and there's a lot of people out here who would probably not like this movie very much. So I think I'll stick with my 70.
70. All right. Bob, bring in the meat. What are you going to say?
I'll go higher than that. I'll just take an 80.
80. All right. That's much lower than I thought you would say, considering you just told us earlier that it's impossible to dislike this movie.
Yeah, it's impossible.
You know?
And I don't tell jokes ever.
Yeah. Well, the chips are down.
It was
We
a
gotta be real.
joke. What? It's a joke.
What? I'm kidding.
Hey,
You got a problem? No. I don't know why I'm channeling Watto from fucking episode 1, but that's just what happened somehow. All right, Mikey,
Nerd.
round us out. What are you going to put us in?
I'm not
This is
gonna
actually a
lie.
Reese's
I thought
caricature, I think.
I thought the first score was the audience score I was giving.
Oh, sorry.
So oopsie daisy. I'm
okay.
gonna stick with my guns and go 86% again.
All
Okay.
right.
Hopefully, I win my
Boys.
money back.
Did
Let's
we
see.
all
Let's see
just
if I
give
win
our
my
same
money back.
scores again?
No.
Close.
Oh,
Bob
okay.
gave
Stick to your guns.
Bob's in his the same realm, but you got
Okay.
two
Yeah.
some sames. Well, Mikey, this drink's free. The answer is 53%.
Oh, no!
Damn. I lost two
Doesn't
straight
that break
bets.
your heart a
Damn.
little
I
bit?
thought it would be
Kinda does.
higher than the critics. Whoa!
See, I figured people love this damn movie, but man, how many people you said was for the-
250,000.
That's a lot.
That's a
That
big
is
sample
huge.
size.
So that's 125,000 people, or 130 some probably likes this
Yeah.
movie. So that's still a lot.
Yeah.
Damn.
This is what convinced me that my glasses are rose tinted towards this movie, and I
Mm.
gotta lean into it.
Fuck Rotten
I gotta-
Tomatoes.
So
It's
here's Bob's bias with Mr. 5-star. This is the man who gave Chucky last
with
week
Mr.
Chi-
Five
Child's Play a 5, but Alien a 4.5. You know what I mean?
I
Bob's
said
got
it's got room to grow. Okay.
Bob's a camp mang. Okay, he's all about
I-
the camp.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All about the camp.
All right. Well, let's read our critics' consensus and see if we can discern what's going on here. Tim Burton's Alien Invasion spoof faithfully recreates the wooden characters and schlocky story of cheesy 50s sci-fi and Ed Wood movies, perhaps a little too faithfully for audiences. I guess that's maybe kind of true. I mean, this is why, I don't know. I find it hard to believe how few audience members see the silliness of this movie and want to engage it on like a very serious level. That's what it seems like's happening here to me. Like it'd be like trying to like this again. Like I keep thinking of Austin Powers. Like who watches that movie and thinks to themselves that this is like, oh,
That's
yeah,
no
this is like-
James Bond.
But again,
Right, yeah,
Austin
like, what the
Powers
fuck?
is much more successful as a comedy, in my opinion.
and that's
agree.
fair,
Yeah,
but like
agree.
that's a huge gap between what we're
Yeah.
saying and what the score reflects. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I disagree with the Rotten Tomatoes caption because, like, man, he really nailed the aesthetic, but like maybe too well. It's like he did what he wanted, and you like it or you don't. Like,
Yeah,
you
that's
want him to go,
fair.
like, halfway.
I
Like,
will
that
say
would
that's
fucking
fair.
suck.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
he did.
Alright.
I don't know. I mean, I think ultimately I got a hell yeet sweep.
Oh God, sweep your fucking meat.
Let's get down to brass
Whatever
tacks with
the
these
kids
critics
say.
and find out what they.
Mm.
Let's read some negative reviews and see again if we can discern what's going on here. Here's somebody from the New York Times that says, just a parade of scattershot gags made more often weird than funny and most often just flat. I don't know what's so fucking weird about the humor. This like these jokes to me are like take my wife please, like they're hacky in a funny like in a funny outfit. Like that's what's happening to me. It's like somebody coming out there and like kind of semi-ironically telling the dumbest jokes you've ever heard. It's kind of funny. Like it's Tim Heidecker shit. No, it's not quite.
Yeah.
that, but
I feel like people just can't turn their brain off anymore and just enjoy a silly
People are
movie.
too smart. I wish that
That's
was the
serious.
problem.
Yeah,
I wish.
I don't
I
think
mean-
that's the problem.
Yeah.
yeah. I feel
I
like
don't think
that-
people being too smart is the issue.
that's probably why we won't have enough like aliens like coming by anymore. They're probably like Earth's too stupid now.
Fucking idiots live there.
That's
Yeah.
probably true. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, they're boring now. All
Yeah.
they do is stare at their
We're
phones.
a flyover planet.
Yeah, it's like you know
Don't
when,
stop there.
I love that.
when aliens go on summer vacation. Like if you're poor, you go to Earth.
You're
Yeah.
poor.
Everyone else
Don't-
goes to Disney, you
don't
go to
play in
Disney
the-
World, but you're poor.
The
so you go to
humans'
Earth.
dirty
Yeah.
buttholes for the summer, and then come on back.
Oh man, here's one. Mars is a fireball of failure. A B movie crammed full of A-list actors, an exercise in tacky self-indulgence that will numb you with its labored eccentricities. What's more, it would take a greater detective than I to find a single funny line.
Oh my
Greater
God.
This is a person
than I.
This is
That
a person
dude's
that is
taking this
contemplating suicide.
way
I think.
too seriously.
He is farting into his own mouth.
Yeah.
Puffing his farts.
Oh,
I think
man,
he
that
was waiting
shit's
for like
hilarious.
Daniel Day-Lewis to be in this movie or something.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, come on.
That's no Abe Lincoln, so I don't like this movie.
But see, it's kind of a bummer. I mean, to talk about today, it's a bummer that movies like this won't even be approached to be made because of that kind of attitude. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of cheap fun in a schlocky kind of way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think like Brenfield fits that model, and as much as I don't think it was as funny, or like I don't think it compares to me, but like it compares in the sense that I think that it's kind of going for a lighthearted spoof of a genre.
Yeah.
I think that's there needs to be space in the fucking world of movies for that, and there's just limited space for anything besides what is tried and true until it's not. So we'll see.
The tides are turning, boys. Ooh, that Flash movie is bombing.
It was bad.
Oh, was it?
I've heard one person tell me it was great, and everyone else has disagreed greatly.
Oh, dude, it was pretty bad.
That was another one that old Chris, what's his name, stand for. That dude's such a stand now. That dude is. You cannot trust that man's opinion.
Shitting on YouTubers, like
I like
why?
I don't know. I like I like him. I like him. I don't know.
Yeah, he seems like a super nice guy.
I mean,
I don't
he
have a
seems
problem
like a
with
nice
people
guy, but like anything that I've seen now has just been so rosy, over the top positive that I just
agree with you. I completely agree with
I'm
you.
not like that dude really needs a kick in the nuts.
I have sometimes we need to delineate because you have attacked people personally in this podcast,
and I will continue to do so.
Great.
So we'll continue to parse that.
So yeah, just put a disclaimer, I guess. Cool.
All right, we'll wrap
Randy,
that Rotten Tomatoes segment. Yep.
Right on. There's a shitload of trivia. Let's go ahead and get into it.
It's totally time for trivia.
All right. Yeah, this was like loaded with some really interesting trivia. I tried to work some in throughout the conversation, but there's plenty more. First thing here, to make the Martian girl costume as smooth as possible, it had no zipper or buttons on it whatsoever. Actress Lisa Marie had to be sewn into it every day before filming her scenes. The design was also a combination between Marilyn Monroe and the Bride of Frankenstein. That's what they were going for.
That's fucking awesome.
Huh. Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
Badass. Dedication to that fucking character. Yeah, sew me into this fucking thing. Yeah, that sounds insane.
Yeah.
Sew me.
Damn. The film's writers were not sure what the Martians should sound like, so when they were writing the script, they just used the ack for Martian language. And they just never came up with anything better, so they just kept it as that. So
did they cast Kathy from the comic strip Kathy in this film?
Yes, they did.
All right. My joke did not land, so that's cool.
I got it. It did now.
Nerd.
Oh boy.
Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome to Clowntown, USA.
Clowntown, USA. Ooh,
yes. The design of the Martian spaceship in the film was inspired by the movie Earth Burst the Flying Saucers from 1956, and the saucers in that movie had the radio dish-looking ray that came down from beneath it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just the saucer. I was like, damn, that's kind of ubiquitous, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I guess that ray specifically.
Gotcha.
But like I mentioned, the screenwriter Jonathan Jims didn't realize that the 1962 Mars Attack trading cards actually had stories on the backs of them until he had already written his original story. So I guess there's not much of a
connection,
between the cards in this movie. Working with Burton, Jonathan Jims pared the film's 60 leading characters down to 23, and the worldwide destruction plan for the film was isolated to 3 major cities. Originally, it was supposed to take place in China, the Philippines, Japan, Europe, Africa, India, Russia, fucking everywhere. And then towards the end of the movie, you kind of see little bits of destruction in Paris, London, and the Taj Mahal explodes too.
That would have been cool, but I guess we do get snippets of it, but it would have been cool to see some of that, but some more of that. But I like that this is a centralized American film. It just feels right.
I did like the scene where the aliens were taking pictures right before the Taj Mahal got exploded.
Yeah.
Three of them lined up and they smiled.
Those stupid little bits are the best. Fucking love that shit.
Yeah. When they laser the bottom of the Washington Monument, it's about to fall on these scouts, and they keep knocking it from side to side because they keep running around. It's so goofy, but I love it. The Martian's mothership has a container holding the fat clown from Tim Burton's Batman in it, apparently.
I saw that in the background when he's all strung up. Pierce Brosnan, it's in the back behind him or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Little Easter egg for you there.
Mm-hmm.
The music used to kill the Martians was apparently a country western singer that's somewhat well known, Slim Whitman. And again, the name of that song is Indian Love Call. So download that on your iTunes.
I don't think
I'm an Indian Love Call.
Put it on your country fucking playlist.
That along with Staying Alive.
Fantastic.
Let's see when that song came out.
Give it a Google. I don't know.
Give it a Google.
This movie was actress Sylvia Sidney's final film. She played the grandma in this movie. She was also in Beetleman. She played the woman that was at the window whenever they first go down.
She's the civil servant.
Civil servant, thank you.
Okay,
Same actress. She was born in 1910. She passed away in 1999. In the 30s specifically, she was an extremely famous actress. She was in a ton of stuff. She was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for a movie called Summer Wishes, Winter Dreams from 1973. So pour one out for her. She was all over the place. I was looking at her filmography. It is super long.
It's a long filmography.
Yeah. Our boy Roger L. Jackson, who's best known as doing the voice of Ghostface from the Scream franchise, he makes an uncredited appearance in this movie. He is the voice of the Martian translator device, which apparently helped get him a gig to do Ghostface with Scream. So,
cool.
Tight.
Damn.
Same year. Yeah.
Dude, we don't have enough just straight voice actors anymore. I'm gonna plug that now. Everybody's just from The Office or some shit.
1952 was when Slim Whitman's Indian Love Call was released.
There you go.
Nice. Download it on your iTunes.
I will not.
The last bit I have here, apparently this was a budget of about 80 million and it grossed 101 million at the box office. So it's not really seen as a big success.
I'm just glad it wasn't a complete bomb. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It would just make me feel worse about the scores and shit of this movie.
Yeah. Not terrible. I mean, it made something.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all the trivia I've got. Let's go ahead and talk Cooter of the Week.
Oh, hell yeah.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the Week.
Juice, what is a cooter and why do we hump them?
Oh, Cooter's a character type and a straight chillin' exclusive. Cooter must hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter. We want the Cooter with the most points. The 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, is there a Cooter in Mars Attacks?
Clifford.
There's
Clifford.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Fucking Martin Short is top of, in terms of humans, and I do think there's an argument to be made for the Martians as well.
Yeah.
But I think he's the top list of humans, right? Is anybody else really?
I would say sexual deviance.
Sexual deviance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Checkaroonie. Okay.
Smug arrogance.
Smug arrogance.
I would say. Yeah.
Smug arrogance. Yeah.
It's clearly got the smug arrogance going.
Patheticness.
For sure.
Yes.
Patheticness.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Overall looking attire, he's mostly just dressed in a suit, right?
He's just yuppie outfit from the time, pretty much.
And then what's
manipulation.
Manipulation.
I think his job is manipulation, so it's
kind of
he's
like, oh, we'll get
PR
this out of the press.
Press secretary.
Yeah. Like by definition, you're a little bit of a manipulator at that level of PR. So.
Well, we got him. That's
got
him. Got him. That was easy.
Yeah.
Good call, Michael. You're welcome.
For sure.
I think the Martians, are definitely gonna rank here.
They're cooters in like a Freddy Krueger latter day sense, where they're just playing with their food constantly. Like the arrogance of that.
Manipulation. I love that shit. That stop, we're your friends. Don't run away.
Just blasting ass the whole time.
And laughing their dicks off.
Yeah, dude.
While they do it. I love it.
Great.
Manipulation,
all the little vignettes,
smug arrogance, sexual deviance.
Look
sure.
and attire.
Look
and
attire.
Underwear.
Yeah. Everything but patheticness. I don't think they're pathetic, really. Nah.
Not really. Except they get taken out by a song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. But I don't know. I think it's more pathetic that the humans just fell so hard into that by accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way to defeat them is to be fucking so dumb and incompetent that you accidentally.
I love that the donut shop kid is the one that figured it out.
Yeah. Well, it's the grandma.
He's one of the few people.
I guess really the grandma.
I love that gag of them going into the grandma's room and like, hey, she's over here, and they're like getting that big ass laser.
It's so good.
She's the most harmless human they're ever gonna come across.
They're just gonna fuck her.
They're just evil little shits. That's the fucking Freddy Krueger bug going.
Yeah.
Love it.
5 stars.
I think, and sexual deviance. You do have you have the bombshell disguise.
Yeah, and they're looking at Playboys on the spaceship. Too.
Oh yeah,
I think we could give it.
They're also watching Brad whip his dick out or whatever, like Clifford, whoever his name is, Martin Short.
Yeah,
like they had this shot of from the perspective of the bombshell outfit woman, and it's just his mouth kissing her, and then fisheye lens, kissing her, and it's just 3 of these fucking monstrous motherfuckers, and they're watching him in their cloaks. They like to watch, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they also gave some devious when because he's looking at the Playboy, and then it flashes over to the woman in the tube, and he's or whatever. So
Sarah, yeah, for sure. That's
but they never actually act sexually about anything. Well, I guess when they watch people banging it out to the Bee Gees, that's a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they also specifically mention oh, I'm surprised there's no genitalia here or whatever when they're doing the dissection.
Did they?
Autopsy thing. Yeah.
Well, you saw Pierce Brosnan's body all cut up. Where you didn't see his dick. Where do you think they put it?
Where is it?
Do you think so? Yeah.
Let's speculate wildly.
I'm just asking questions here.
Yeah.
Arrivederci, baby.
I don't make the rules.
It went somewhere.
I'm not saying. I'm just asking questions.
What could go wrong? Cool.
Yeah, I think we got him.
I think we got it. Yeah, that should about do it. Cool. Well, let's fucking relax, kick our feet up, talk about what we've been watching this week.
Hey gang, what you been watching?
Mikey.
Yes, sir.
What have you been watching this week?
Oh man. So we just recorded our Let's Get Physical Media episode. So I like to take this week to not watch any movies.
Yeah.
Because we just buy so many every fucking month. I started The Bear season 2, which is phenomenal. I'm very excited about it. When it was coming out. I've also been enjoying the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix.
Cool. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it's super cool. It starts off with him, getting the inspiration of wanting to start working out and bodybuilding, and how he eventually moves into Hollywood, and it's really good. And he's in there too, telling the story. So I've been finding that very entertaining.
Badass.
Yeah. But other than that, there's no sports on anymore. We don't have any more NBA finals. We'll just have baseball until football comes around. So yeah, right now I'm just chilling and watching some Arnold.
Arnold.
Yeah.
Tight. All right. Yeah. Juicy J, what about you?
I did start Black Mirror, the newest season. Rachel was talking about it last week. There's only like 5 episodes, I think, something like that. So I haven't finished it yet, but it's good. But I remember too, I remember the first few seasons of Black Mirror. I really loved it, and I think they're always done like pretty well. But also too, it just got so relevant to like the true life bummer that is like life that I had to kind of like stop watching it. And this very much has still stuff of that going on, where it's just like, oh, isn't this so dark and twisted? And it's like, yeah, because it's real, so that sucks. So yeah, but I'll ultimately finish it. I think I would like to do a mini cast on it once I wrap up the whole season, so keep an eye out on that. And the only other thing I can like talk about right now is I finally finished Beau is Afraid, which is another huge bummer of a movie. So a lot of bummer stuff been watching lately, but that movie's wild. Like I said, I recorded a mini cast on it as one of the longer mini casts I've done, because the movie's 3 hours fucking long, and it is just packed full of just wild shit nonstop. So it's a lot of a movie, and I'm kind of conflicted on it because it is so like stuffed full and like such a bummer and stuff. But I mean, it's done well. It's just what's done well, like it's tough to watch. So it's just Ari Aster, man, he's got some problems, I think.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
So
he's working through them.
You know what though?
Hey Siri, show me a man with problems.
Yeah, that's the thing about it, is if this is his way of coping with whatever deep stuff he's got going on, then good on that guy, because at least he's making interesting, creative films out of it. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's all I can talk about for now. Bob, what you been watching, my guy?
Couple things. I went to Tampa this weekend. I got to see the Misfits play. The original lineup with Dave Lombardo on the drums, and they did like a 90-minute set.
Wow.
Yeah, they played a good long set, and those dudes are like in their 60s now. Danzig turned 68 on Friday, and we saw the show on Saturday, and he was running around singing his ass off for 90 minutes, man. Those dudes are old, but like they take care of themselves. They're in pretty good shape, and they sounded great. They
Good for them.
sounded
Great.
fantastic.
Not always the case with aging bands.
Not always the case. Yeah, they don't play very often at all. So it was like one of those bands I never really thought I'd get the chance to see, and then all of a sudden they popped up in Florida, and I was like, well, I will go on down to Tampa to see that.
You think we'll still be podcasting when we're 68, boys?
Yes, sure.
God, we'll be chained to the mic.
You got to keep it going.
I've got 45 years left to go.
I'm not stopping until I'm 69, then I'll throw on the towel. Okay.
By then, the age of retirement will be like 80 something. So we'll be
yeah. The opening bands for the Misfits were Fear and Megadeth.
Nice.
Fear was like kind of cool to see because Mr. Body is the front man. Like,
yeah.
I don't like love their music necessarily.
Mr. Body, like the real the guy who wore the suit thing.
Yeah, it's from
Leaving.
Oh, I was thinking Mr.
Goodbody. Mr. Goodbody. Oh, I would love to see that metal band.
Leaving. Okay. Mr. Body from Clue. Gotcha.
Clue, yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, Mr. Goodbody on the mic.
And now I'm going to show you how the larynx works.
That would be dope.
Had to stop her screaming. So that was a lot of fun. What I've been watching on the screen, season 2 of The Bear. I've watched the first 4 out of 10 episodes. So far, it's fantastic. I really love that show. Episode 4 was fucking cool as shit. I can't wait to finish the season. I really like where it's going. Fantastic show. Watch The Bear on Hulu if you're not watching it. The other thing I want to mention is I've been watching that show, The Idol, on Max. You guys familiar with this show at all?
No.
Oh shit, yeah, the weekend one.
The Weekend, yeah.
That is
co-create-
getting a
co-created
lot
it.
of shit.
Yeah,
Dude,
didn't it get canceled already?
Oh, I don't know. That would be news to me.
No, I think it did.
It stars The Weeknd and Lily Rose Depp, which is Johnny Depp's daughter. And the concept of the show is Lily Rose Depp plays this pop star who I guess is loosely based off of Britney Spears.
Loose. Okay.
And dude, in this movie, yeah, it's just her getting her fucking ass eaten out left like every other minute, dude. She's just like, she's naked in the entirety of it. She just fucking stays naked. I think The Weeknd might be a fucking problem in real life. I'm not sure, man.
That's
He,
what
like-
the news outlets are reporting. Yes.
Dude, he plays this character in a way that makes me extremely uncomfortable. And like, I've seen that there's only 3 episodes out, and I've watched them, and like, I might hate this show. I think I might hate it, but like, it could pay off. Like, there's a way, like this, it could take a turn and pay off in a really big way. But like, right now, I think I kind of hate it. To be honest.
Man, that's a
You're
big
in
risk,
too
Bob.
deep to give it up.
Dude, it's
There's
like,
like there was a lot of
pretty
behind the scenes shit.
Was
came
there?
out
Sure
about
it's been
that.
canceled
So I don't think
already.
that you're.
really
I don't think you're gonna get your return on investment on that. Dude.
okay. Oh, man,
Might
I'll
be
give
time
that
to
a
pull the
Google
plug
then.
on that.
Watch
Bob.
it if you want, but
I didn't
know
know.
that.
There's like, it feels so fucking gross. Like I just, I don't like it. I don't know. Okay, well, if it's been canceled, then I don't.
Apparently
I'll
you
definitely
do.
stop.
'Cause-
No, I'm like, well, I heard a theory.
It's supported
there's
by viewers like you.
There's a theory that I heard about a turn that the show could take, and I was like, that would be fucking interesting. I have no idea if it's gonna happen though. So like
Fan
that-
fiction got you reeling.
Maybe. I don't know, man. But anyway, that's out there if you want to watch that. The Weeknd, I think, is a fucking film, dude. That guy's weird. I don't know. Anyway, call in The Weeknd. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
of our,
Here we are
of-
attacking people's characters again.
Yeah.
God damn it. We're the problem. Turns out
Yeah.
we are the problem.
Oh man, we are just like every Black Mirror episode.
God, we need a little less mirror on our Black Mirror episodes, please. Because it sucks. All right, yeah, that's really all I've been watching. Rain Deasy, what you been watching?
So I was enjoying some family time on a vacation this weekend, so there was a little bit less of what I would normally pick to watch, a little bit more in the classic vein. So I got to watch The Breakfast Club. I got to introduce a family member, a 16-year-old, to that film, and she really enjoyed it, and that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
I mean, I think that that's like the ideal age to watch that, I think.
Probably, yeah.
One
But
of my favorite movies.
that movie
love that
fucking
movie.
rules.
Yeah.
It's dated in a few ways, but it's like its core is so relevant to American experience of growing up. That I don't think it's going anywhere. And I think that her response to that movie kind of reflects that. I was happy about that. Also watched an Academy Award. I don't know if the movie itself won, but at least one of the leads won an Academy Award for this movie, Paper Moon, which is kind of in that vein of like Bonnie and Clyde and sort of like this 70s period piece about not so savory characters in like the 20s and 30s, like bootlegging era. And it's good. It's kind of like a cutesy movie. It's like in the realm of like The Sting or something like that. So it was fine. I don't know that it's a real banger I'm going to repeat, but I enjoyed it pretty good. I also watched the first episode of a reality series called Jury Duty, which I don't know if you guys remember the show Joe Schmo, but it's kind of similar to that. You've got this guy who's participating in jury duty. They're doing like a documentary about it, about him doing it, but everybody else on the jury and everybody else involved entirely are all actors. And they're all just there to make him like bristle and like make him like say, what the fuck's going on? And just they're just toying with this guy, and it's a lot of fun to watch. At least the first episode was. I really like the original Joe Schmo. Yeah, it is that, and it's like it's just very silly. What's his fucking name? Oh god damn, I'm completely whiffing on this dude's name. But like a celebrity from like the guy from like Sonic and like who played Cyclops in the X-Men and all these other fucking characters, a million characters. That dude is in it as himself. Because it's based in LA, and he's just like acting like a pompous dickhead the whole show. It's pretty great. So I'm enjoying that on the first episode. I haven't seen The Bear yet, but I'm going to. And then quite a few films for the Chattanooga Film Festival I've gotten to take in, and then at least one for the Bifan Festival as well. So we're heavily in festival mode right now. There's a lot that we probably can't or shouldn't talk about just yet. But there were at least 3 or 4 movies that fit that description. So that's where I'm at. That's what I got to see this week.
Nice. Very cool. Good shit. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our final segment, which is, of course, our Hotline Screens.
Hotline Screens.
If you guys are listening and would like to call in and leave a voicemail to be featured on next week's show, hit us up at 904-638-3231. We do have one voicemail this week. I believe this is a first-time caller, actually. Sean,
Nice.
let's hear what Sean has to say.
All right.
Hey guys, this is Sean from Wake Forest. I am calling from your Queer Chilling contingent. I found y'all through Caitlin on Plug It Up a couple of years ago. It is always great to hear you and your thoughts on different movies. I'm surprised no one called in about Child's Play. Honestly, I think all of the Child's Play properties are really fun. Some are great, but even the worst ones are good and entertaining. Definitely Post Tilly. She is awesome, and her coming on and bringing so much like camp queer value to the movies and the show cannot be underestimated. Looking forward to what y'all say about Mars Attacks. Not a favorite of mine. A little too silly without being fun enough or thoughtful enough. So anyway, look forward to hearing what you say. Keep chilling, keep doing what y'all do. Y'all are awesome. Hashtag Flaccid without Randy these weeks. Take care. Bye.
What the fuck,
Whoa,
Sean?
Randy. Flaccid without Randy.
Without Randy.
Oh,
because you weren't there last
thank you,
week.
Sean.
Yeah. we can only be hard with you around, sir.
Well, God bless you, Sean. And thanks to Caitlin for sending folks our way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get in on the Child's Play conversation. I haven't listened to it because I don't. And
What?
but like, so he was a big on the Tilly stuff, on the camp stuff. It's interesting that he's big on like that era of Child's Play film and how silly and like campy it is, but not Mars
this
Attacks
one,
for the
yeah.
same
Yeah.
reason, because
Yeah.
that's the reason
That's
I like Mars Attacks.
interesting.
But similar, like conversely, I don't really care that much for the Tilly era of Child's Play.
Interesting.
I don't not a slight against her though. Like I think she's funny and shit, but like it's
Yeah.
really like movies themselves I don't really care for in that era.
Maybe after this episode, he'll change his mind.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I'd be like, these guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Well, that's been clear since the beginning. I mean,
Oh,
we've made no secret of that.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody
I'm
knows
still
that.
limited. I would say I probably, of the movies we've covered, I enjoyed more of the horror aspect of Child's Play. But I could understand where you can't keep that going forever, you know? So
Sure,
I
yeah.
understand the need for a shift, but from what I've seen, it's like almost too silly. But yeah, that is peculiar about not being able to, you know, not liking this film for its kind of over the top campy silliness, but
yeah.
For my taste, like the sort of like campier Child's Play movies edge a little bit too close to like my Hot Topic edgelordy feeling.
They do have that
for my
kind of
tastes.
feel, yeah.
And that's its own brand of camp, and power to you if you're into that, like whatever. But like that's something that I don't know. Maybe it cuts a little too close to the bone of my adolescence. I don't know.
Maybe.
My adolescent bone.
Whoa.
Let's talk more about that.
Just too close to it. Cool. Yeah, thanks for calling in, Sean. Great to hear from you. Again, if you guys are listening, want to call in, hit us up at 904-638-3231. Any prompts you want to throw out for next week, gentlemen?
What's next week's movie? I always need
next week, we're going to be talking about Nate S's You Pick, and that is A Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, man. That's a fun movie.
And it's tough to talk about that without entering spoiler territory. So
it is. I mean, I think we've thrown out this prompt before, but in that case, it would be like, what kind of monster would you love to see kind of get their heyday? I mean, we were just talking about the cycles too. You got the sci-fi, aliens, the zombies and the vampires and the true crime and the ghosties. Like, what do you kind of hope is the next wave to come in?
Actually, can I build on that? Or can I?
No,
like sort of like alleyway off that.
I'm muting you. No,
I think
shut it down.
If they were gonna remake or not remake, but like make like sort of like a spiritual successor to Cabin in the Woods, what would be your ideal horror setting for the action to go down at? What would be your number one for that? Because they cover a couple of spots in that film, a couple ideas, but not very many. They cover a lot of like horror ground, but not so much settings.
The Japanese one always cracks me up.
Yeah.
I want more Wolfman stuff.
Wolfman?
I've always liked werewolf stuff.
Yeah.
So like maybe like a period piece of Cabin in the Woods. I could see that.
I think he's just talking
nice.
in general about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just thinking like Transylvania as like as an operations.
Yeah. Like a haunted castle would be really fun and funny. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Full-blown Scooby-Doo, like sneaking through
that
a
would
castle.
be
on
really
a castle
sweet.
with like a graveyard and a forest.
That's Scooby-Doo level.
Shit.
That'd be really cool. You got like a metal tree that's got a tube in it or something.
Yeah, sure.
Because when I think about Cabin in the Woods, I just think of that. The first thing I think is when the girl has to kiss the statue.
Yeah.
And
the
happen, but nothing happens.
The deer.
Oh yeah.
No, it's the stuff. It's a stuffed.
Oh, is it a wolf?
It's a wolf. Yeah, it's not. I don't know if it's a werewolf, but it's a big snarling wolf.
Yeah,
that's hanging
that's
on
right.
Yeah. Dude, she goes to town on that thing.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
I want to know if you got a fucking weird cabin story. Like, you stay at the cabin, you see like a Bigfoot in the woods, you see flying saucers overhead, you get, I don't know, tornado come through, fucking cabin up. Tell us. Like, I don't know.
That happened to us.
I know it. I would say like our cabin got fucked up once. It's like
in Asheville.
Yeah, not a tornado necessarily, but like a huge.
Was it White Castle?
No,
it did blow over the grill.
That toilet's never gonna be the same.
It threw the grill. It was kind of scary because we were on stilts on the side of a mountain and like the thing was shaking. It was wild, man. It was like
that's
kind of sketchy.
What about the scary cabin story when we met for the first time pretty much in the cabin?
Oh yeah, that was terrifying.
Yeah,
I couldn't trust you.
Now I haunt you every day.
I know. I still can't trust you.
I woke up and Mikey was in my bed. It was weird.
Just breathing heavy. Fuck you. Nothing on but his drawers. No, they were barely on.
Yep, I like the air dry.
They were on his ankles.
Hello, Michael. Yeah, call in 904-638-3231. Cabin in the Woods next week, brought to you by your boy Nate S. Mikey, thanks for sitting in with us, man. It's always nice to have you on.
This was fun. And I was just thinking, too, this is the first time I was on the show with you guys that this movie didn't have any bodily fluids, private parts.
People aren't getting raped or fed feces. Okay.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
You haven't seen the director's cut.
It was fun talking about just a regular good old time movie.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for having me on this episode.
Yeah,
you got to find balance, Mikey,
Yeah.
Long overdue. Finally found the balance. Yeah, well, check out Let's Get Physical Media everywhere you get your podcasts. Until next week, you can find us on all of your social medias. Just search Straight Chilling Podcast. If you want to join in on our Slack channel and engage with the daily conversations about the movie of the week, shows we've been watching, video games, we trade recipes, we show pictures of our animals, our dogs, our cats, and shit. Just hit us up on one of those social media outlets and I'll send you a link so you can join in on the fun. We had a couple new people sign up this past week. So yeah, that'll do it this week. Until next time, as always, all you mother truckers, please keep chilling.